restricted as well. Okay. I was muted. Hello, friends. Welcome to the kitchen. Good to have you here. I see Hasmuk is here. Matthew is here. Hi, everyone. My energy is blah. Everybody around me is sick, and I think I might have caught the sick. So I'm a little blah today. So you guys are gonna have to help me out. But let's make the rounds. Let's say hello. Hey, Ray. Which one? Which one was I referring to? See, you have to guess. I'm leaving you guessing. Whoever speaks first wins.
Okay.
You made noise. You made noise.
Hi, David.
How are you, Ray?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Good. It's good to see you here. And Ray Franklin, how are you, sir?
I'm quite well, thank you. Sorry that you're under the weather. They will pick you up here, and the smells, the wafting from the Zoom test kitchen.
The wafting smells from the dicing and slicing. And yes, we are going to have to charge Mike more now that in order for him to be here now. There's a 25% tariff on your attendance. Is that?
Yes.
Has that started? I haven't been on the news all day.
Well, I may have to disappear on you because it's been fluid within the last hour that I have to keep up with it. So
Wait, seriously?
yes, seriously.
It's oh my God. Can I just, on behalf of my nation, I'm sorry. Wow.
We understand, but we also understand what it'll do more to you guys than we did. It will do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, just wait 4 years, okay? Just wait 4 years. Things will go back. The pendulum will go the other direction, and we'll have something else to worry about.
Oh my gosh, Jeffrey Powers is coming in. That's such a nice treat. It's also a nice treat to have Jason here. Hello, Jason.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not too shabby, thanks.
And he is also here with Mr. Tony Mobley, father, Reverend Mobley, not father. Sorry, that's a little too much of a raise, of a promotion.
And I'm going to take a page from you. Tony Mobley is just fine.
Just Tony. Okay. Just Tony. Hello, Frank.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. Lois Richter, I'm so happy to see you. And I'm so sorry about your toaster. We got the most wonderful story from Lois about her toaster in a different Discord.
My toaster?
Wasn't it your toaster? Or was it something different? Wait, was it not your toaster? Am I wrong?
It was my taxes.
Oh. I'm not sure why I said that. I'm so sorry.
My printer failed while I was in the middle of that.
Maybe that's what it was. But just to be clear, your toaster is fine, right?
Next week on the rundown.
Yeah, but just to be clear, your toaster is okay, right?
My toaster's fine.
Okay, good.
Don't have a toaster,
That was
so it must be
embarrassing. That was embarrassing. John Drinkwater, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned because if our government finds out that you can just write laws left, right, and centre, we're going to be in great trouble because they usually never do anything for years.
Well, we've done a lot in the past week, 2 weeks, that I'm not entirely sure we should be proud of. But this is
Some of us have a different opinion, just for the record.
This is a non-political show, and I love all of my friends.
All right.
Even the ones who are wrong. Hey, can we say hello to Mr. Jeffrey Powers? Oh my goodness.
Hi. My toaster is doing fine, by the way.
Thank God. I mean, I was worried about it, but I'm so happy to see you here. What a treat. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I put it on my schedule, so it was. Then I remember every time it's like at like 4 o'clock. I'm working, and all of a sudden it's like, dang it, I forgot CTK.
Dang it. I'm so happy to see you here. I'm also incredibly happy to see Hasmuk. How are you, sir?
Good evening. Yep, two things. I appreciate our discussion last week on polls and quizzes because we used them extensively on our medical event today.
And
the second thing is...
Wait. How'd it go?
Well, it's 3 days. Today was day one.
Okay.
And the discussions and it went off very, very well.
Great.
I'm very happy. And tip on sharing in the browser and then screen scraping that browser and putting it into the meeting so that everybody can see that was just awesome.
Fantastic. What did you use was it just vanilla Zoom screen share?
No. We use a switcher, so we pulled it across one of the virtual monitors and then put that into the meeting.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, and the second thing.
The second thing.
Where are the meters?
So I'm glad you said that because I want to show you all something, which is kind of cool. Oh, sorry. So in the last Ecamm for Zoom beta update, we got a bunch of new features. We got silly stuff like, we now have magic move. Look at the magic move from Keynote, where it goes in and out. They call it live motion. And we got some really sweet stuff in Ecamm for Zoom. Like I don't need to use Zoom OSC anymore to spotlight myself. There's a dedicated button that I can just an action right in Ecamm that will automatically spotlight or unspotlight myself. But the other thing that we got, and I'll take you behind the scenes here just to show you, is audio filters. So if I come over here and I click plus, I want to add a new audio filter. So I then have, do I want to add this audio filter to specific channels, or do I want to just do the entire mix? I can choose a main mic or secondary mic if I'm using specific channels. I can do this for my interview guests individually if I want to. And then all the plugins are automatically down here. So every plugin that comes natively with Apple is already here. So I can apply any of these. But because I have the Waves plugin, that's here also. So I'm not in this meeting with this with Ecamm for Zoom, so it's not really going to work. But I can now just start. I can do it meters right from in here. I don't have to do anything, which is kind of amazing. So let me just pull it up here. So there it is. And now the way I've set it up in my thing is now it's just hearing my audio, but I just created a little overlay. So now when I come into any meeting, I automatically have meters. Is there lag?
Amazing.
But that's meters for you only, correct?
Well, no. So now it's meters for me only.
Okay.
But if I were in this meeting I don't do Ecamm, I don't do Zoom Test Kitchen through Ecamm. I do it through the vanilla Zoom so that we can play with all the stuff. Every other meeting in the week, literally every other meeting that I do Ecamm for Zoom. And if I come in there, then it would grab all the audio.
Or if you had a second, if you put in a second person.
Or if I added a second person, correct. Yep. So in any case,
David,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Could you share it one more time, please? How
What
you
am I
bringing
sharing?
that in?
It's in Ecamm, right?
Yes. So it's built in the Ecamm, the new Ecamm beta. They have these. You can do plugins, audio plugins, and since I already had Waves plugin, the meters on my computer, because I would always open them in what is that called, Hasmuk? Audio Hijack. I would always open them in Audio Hijack. Now I don't need Audio Hijack anymore. They will open natively right within Ecamm, and it automatically plugs. I don't have to route anything. It automatically just plugs into whatever audio I want.
Is Tony using Ecamm?
Tony, I think
I am not. I'm using Mimo Live, but I am using Audio Hijack and Loopback with Mimo Live.
Right. So it's does the same thing as that. It's just I don't need that second party tool. I will bring in the regular ones though. unless I think I got so excited about the fact that I don't need these anymore. I think I may have deleted the overlay. But so let me turn off this guy. And oh no, I don't need an overlay. They should just come in. Hold on a moment. What's happening? I have no idea what's happening here. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they're in. Yeah, they're kind of in. They don't look very good though. Let me fix that. I can. Oh, wait, come back. No, what are you doing? Stay up there. Yeah, it's already doing it. All right, well, there you go. Now we've got some meters in the meeting. Are you happy now, Hasmik?
And do they work for all of us?
Yes, these will work. Yes, these will work.
17. So when you're doing meters, don't you have to have everybody off except the one person?
Well, I think ideally, yes. You know, if you're really, we bring them into this meeting more to make Hasmik happy than to actually check our audio, I think.
I check my audio because I never know what the heck it's going to do.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, in fact, for our event, we put them in the lobby with a meter in there, and we checked everybody's audio before we put them on stage.
That's nice. Oh, I see what was wrong. Now it should look better. Yeah. So thank you for the easy toss up that I got to share about the meters in Ecamm. It's a really, I have to say, it's a really nice feature. The less apps I have to open, the less tools I have to use to get everything working, the better. So, but this is not the Ecamm show. So,
Hey, let's finish introductions. We got a couple more people join us.
nah, it's just Justin.
No, it's not. It's also Matthew.
I know. I'm kidding. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing fantastic. Like, how you doing today?
Good. So are you and we're on the updated companion build. Is anyone else right? But it's been out for a while, hasn't it?
It's been in beta for a while.
Yeah. Because I remember I saw someone ask about that, and yeah, I've been on 3.5 for feels like forever at this point. But
doesn't beta mean it's not really out yet?
Yeah, but I do everything on beta, so.
Yes, beta does mean a bit of use at your own risk.
Yeah.
Just make sure you know how to get back to the previous version if it's a production machine. I mean, chances are you should probably test it off a production machine first.
Right.
But 4.3.5, it's stable enough that they've announced, that's inside the developer group, within a couple weeks, like actually it's coming up on the end of the couple weeks, they were planning to try to go out of beta and to make it stable. So they're feeling like it's ready.
3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I mean, I haven't had any issues with it. So, yeah. Are those drums behind you?
Those are drums behind me.
Nice. Maybe we'll get some music later. Matthew, how you doing, sir?
Hey, everybody.
Sorry.
How's everybody doing?
It takes 3 times to get in before we actually remember your name and welcome you in without accosting you at the door.
I know this is like the hottest club in New York. I mean, you guys have the strictest door policy around.
Well, we've been bombed before, so you know.
Nobody likes that feeling, so I understand. I'm doing good. Yeah, things have been good over here. Yeah, we've been busy with events and there's a lot been going on, and happy to kind of decompress on a Friday with you guys.
We're happy to have you here. Absolutely. So what has been happening in Zoom land, everyone? Anything exciting going on? Any questions or insights or thoughts? Or Robert is watching on YouTube. I see there's a lag in YouTube. There's always a lag in YouTube. Big Mick from YouTube. Definite lag.
Here's a little tip if you're on YouTube. If you go down to the bottom corner, that little gear icon, and go up and say increase the speed to like 1.5, we'll all start talking really fast until you get to that point where you're at the point.
Wait,
and
really?
Yeah.
It catches you up?
I do that all the time. catch
That's
you up
why
to
we needed Jeff.
I know, that's so funny.
David, I did notice that. Are you using the app today?
Yes, sir, I am.
And you're 720p again this week.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Not 1080.
Yeah, let me jump into my stats and see if that helps at all. Let's see here.
In the meanwhile, maybe Big Mick can try that tip from Jeffrey and tell us if it works for him today.
So looks like, yeah, I'm setting 720. I'm receiving 1080 though. So I guess I'm sending 720 because I'm the streaming machine. And for some reason, the app is degrading it to 720. Maybe. Okay.
Is that not a setting, David, in the app? Did you have a choice between 720 and 1080?
Oh, wait. Is there? I don't even remember. Hold on, let's see. Let me clean some of this up real quick so that it's not quite as messy. Forgive me. All right.
Because you're not mixing this through Ecamm. This is actually going through the app, right?
Yeah, so let's see. This is the live streaming app. If I go into that, see it's set for 1080.
Not getting 1080.
No,
Not a choice.
Although look at this. I actually can't. Oh, well, it's probably because we're
Fade
live.
out.
Yeah, but it's because that's only because we're live right now, so I can't change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It could be a million things. It could be my internet. It could be my computer. It could be, who knows? It could be the app. Look, there's no doubt the app is buggy. Every week it's sort of a toss up whether it's going to work or not. So the AI team was interviewing this week. Zoom's AI team, John?
Yeah, I had the privilege. I don't know if Frank was able to grab a slot, but the team in charge of AI Companion have been doing some short interviews with people to find out what their use cases are and where they're using it and where they think it should go. So that's good news because they're obviously gathering information about what they want to do next for the product.
So they weren't interviewing you for a job. They were interviewing you for information.
They were interviewing me for my use of the product and how I was using it and where I was using it and where I would like to use it.
I did something similar with, they called me about, I don't think it was about the AI. What was it? Maybe it was about docs a while back.
Yeah, they do. Their teams are doing it it seems to be a part of their procedures now. I've had, docs.
Which is great.
It is. It's wonderful. It's why I believe Zoom is doing so well because they are going out and listening to their customers. I'm sorry, guys, they don't get all their ideas from Zoom Test Kitchen, but quite a lot of them.
Yep. And Mike is on YouTube. He's not noticing that lag in YouTube. Good to see you, Muddy. Thank you for being here. Hi, Lois.
I am embarrassed to say I can't figure out how to turn on my universal keystrokes. If you go into your meeting settings, one of the panel options is about the keyboard, and you can have special keystrokes to do things, and then you can assign them. And I have assigned them to the F keys on my computer, on my keyboard, and they worked fine until last week. They stopped. I have no idea why. I've gone in there and tried to set them again, and that didn't work. So any ideas from folks?
So I'll just start you off. I'm not sure if this answers the question, but so here's the settings page and the keyboard shortcuts that you were mentioning. So yes, Frank is check keys are not being also claimed by other apps. Right. So here are the shortcuts, which you can change. Enable global shortcut. What this essentially does, as I understand it, is in order for a shortcut to work, generally speaking, the app has to be the forward-facing app. It has to be in front.
It means the Zoom keyboard keystroke will work even if I'm doing something else. That's
correct. So that's what enable global shortcut does, as I understand it. Right. But there is, as John says, there is the also issue, excuse me, the other issue of if you double assign a key command. So if your F
Will
key,
let you. If you go in there and you assign something to something and you try to assign another thing to that same something, it won't let you. It'll tell you you're making a mistake.
in Zoom, it will do that.
Zoom it will do that. Yes.
Okay. And you're saying, and so the issue is that the hotkeys just aren't working anymore?
Yeah, I press F16 and my microphone doesn't mute and unmute like it's supposed to. And I
Even when you're in
I
the Zoom
like
app,
a bunch of them set and none of them work. They used to work. What, Ray?
even when you're in the Zoom app, it doesn't work, or just when
That's
you're
right.
not in the Zoom
No.
app?
Right now, I'm trying to turn off my microphone and it's not doing anything. Okay. Which is frustrating because I've got it set to do all sorts of things, open the panelists and the chat and change the camera and it just.
Have you rebooted lately? Also, I assume you probably have.
Reinstalled Zoom, you mean, or rebooted my computer?
No, just rebooted your machine, because sometimes the active program that looks for these things just gets confused.
I will be right back, guys. I'll later.
Not saying that's going to fix it, but that's an opportunity for you. I will take a moment for those of you that aren't programmers, perhaps, and would like to understand how this operates. I know more about how it works in Windows, and I assume that the same thing works over in the Mac world. And that is, when you press a key on your keyboard, the keyboard manager takes that key and passes it to the very top level, whatever's active, and so if you're in Zoom, it goes into Zoom. That's why they always work when you're in Zoom, except for Lois, I don't know. But that application, if it rejects the key and says, I don't really need to do anything with that key, the system continues to pass that down to the different layers of applications. And they kind of go, I don't want to do anything with the F4 key. And the next one goes, I don't want to do anything with the F4 key. And the next one goes, wait, I want to do something with the F4 key. And as soon as it grabs it and does something with it, it doesn't get passed down to anybody else. And that's why if you have another app kind of above you in the layer of things that grabs it, it never gets to you.
Curtis is wondering if maybe she hit a key on her keyboard that disabled the function keys.
That's a possibility too.
Yeah.
No, well, another
that's where a reboot typically will also fix that.
Another possibility is if you have another program that's competing for it. Some of the programs also will have an option that says make this a global option. So, like for instance, when I was using Wirecast, I could actually set all the hotkeys and I could set them globally. So if Wirecast wasn't the program in the foreground, then if I did Alt-1, then it would still go to Wirecast first. And Mac does have those same options as well.
Okay. Well, when she comes back, we'll see what happens. Andy is in Zoom and YouTube. And hey, by the way, see this cool little lower third here? I just discovered this. I feel like I'm last to the party. But this is Aaron Parecki's YouTube chat thing. Does everyone know about this? I'm most definitely last to the party. Yeah. This is just fantastic. So let me show you what's happening here. So I've got I'm sorry. So I've got our Zoom, our meeting going on another computer. It doesn't really matter what computer it's on. And then I popped out the chat in the top. Let me restore chat. And then if you go up here, you go to 3 buttons and you can pop out chat. You install this Google Chrome extension and it automatically does this for you. It automatically creates the lower third. You grab the overlay from up here. You come back into whatever tool you're using and you just pop it in as like a web widget overlay. Boom. And now, if I just click on, it just comes up. Like, how nice is that? I don't have it formatted correctly, but
I'm assuming that's alpha, not green screen then, right?
It looks like it's alpha. Yeah. Because it's black. Yes. No, sorry. It is most definitely alpha because I didn't apply any green screen, any chroma to it.
What programs did you use to achieve this again?
This is just the from Aaron Prucky. I'll grab the link and pop it in for everyone. It's just a Google a Chrome extension, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I love it. Just discovered this.
So
And
while
David,
David's doing that, I'll just let everybody know that you could actually grab it in the Chrome. It's a Chrome app, so it's a Chrome extension. You just need to go to the Chrome store.
You're
to
absolutely
get the
right.
extension.
Yeah. So the link that I'm putting in is to the GitHub, which just links you to the store. Apologies. You're absolutely right about that.
But David, you're in Zoom when you're doing this. So how is something from Chrome showing up in Zoom?
I'm grabbing it from Chrome, and then I'm bringing it into Zoom. I'm using Ecamm, but you can use any tool.
Right. And I'll answer Lois's question is that he's grabbing it from YouTube, Lois, not from Zoom.
Grabbing it.
Any more available
He's
for
grabbing the comments, the same comments that I usually put into chat, which David's making my job obsolete by using this, but that's all right. No, I'm kidding. But again, it's the scenario of, so basically what David has done is he's watching YouTube on another machine, or in this case, he's watching on Ecamm, which is the same machine. And basically what he's doing is he's using the Chrome situation like that. And then now you can see he's got the lower third there now that just popped up. And that's built in as the extension that Aaron Parecki made many
It's an
months.
overlay on his camera. That's sort of the piece I don't think we've made really clear.
No,
It's an
you're right.
overlay on his camera that comes out.
You're right. I was mostly just killing time till you came back, Lois. I didn't mean for this to actually be a topic of a conversation. I just found it. I thought it was really cool.
And since you did bring it up, I will say Social Stream Ninja also does YouTube comments and Zoom and lots of other platforms and sticks it all into a doc and has a URL to do a very similar looking lower third.
So the thing that I like better about this than Ninja, I used Social Stream for a while, is that because I primarily, my whole goal is to bring it into Zoom, is that I found that in order to grab Zoom comments, which I don't need to do anymore, I had to have it join Zoom from a browser, which degraded the Zoom experience, as we all know. So this is just a plugin. I don't have to download anything. I don't have to update it. It's great. But again,
But David, you now know that Ecamm, you should be able to bring our chat information into as a lower third as well, right? Because that's capabilities in vMix right now.
our chat. If I
Our
were using,
Zoom chat as a lower third, yes.
no, if I were using Social Stream, I could, not with this tool. Not
Oh,
with
Ecamm hasn't built that in? Okay, that's available in vMix.
It has if you're joining the meeting in Ecamm.
Right. If I were in this meeting through
David's not.
Ecamm, then yes, I could grab the chat. Absolutely, I do that every day. Yeah.
Correct.
But
I'd
again,
like to add one more thing to this, and that is it is using Chrome. It is using resource. So you are adding a resource to whatever you're doing. So yeah, all of a sudden, if you start seeing choppiness in your Zoom call, if you start seeing choppiness in whatever software or switcher you're using, it might be because of that. It might be because of the 100 tabs you also have open. Keep that in mind. But this is a Chrome app. There's a lot of different programs that do that. IPX does that. It just basically uses Chrome as the web overlay or the way to create the graphics that will then go in. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It just uses resource. So if your computer is not as powerful as you need it to be, you might have some problems.
no, that's great. Thank you. And just right. So when I do this, this is specifically why I have a second cheap computer. Like it's still an M1, but it's, so that I can run all that stuff over there and it never even touches the streaming computer. Yeah. But again, I really didn't mean for this to be a topic. It's not really Zoom. I apologize.
Right. Yeah. No, I'll just finish up there. Yeah. And I'll just finish up what Aaron's workflow is how he does it is he uses OBS and then actually does the screen output of that as the program output. And then he actually brings that in through his ATEMs.
Yep. Yeah. There are a million ways to do it. I'm not sure. I think I've become so I just use everything is built into Ecamm so easily that I use that. And but I had one incident where for whatever reason Ecamm wasn't grabbing the Zoom chat, and so I was able to use this tool. I got excited. Lois.
So I don't want to. So before we hop off this topic, let's bring it back to Zoom a little bit. Since you typically use Zoom OSC and a lot of us use Zoom OSC, there and Companion, you can actually send all of the Zoom chats over to Social Stream. That is actually a functionality in that Zoom OSC module in Companion.
Wait.
Then you, yep.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, that was a feature that I added into the 3.4 release.
In Zoom OSC.
Yep.
Okay.
So
let's
back it up.
Let's
So,
take a look.
Yep. So if you go to your connections.
Connections. Yep.
And you go to your OSC, Zoom OSC module.
Yeah.
And if you scroll down just a tad bit, you can see that there's a social stream there. When you enable it, you pick your session ID that they give you. And then there is a few options like what kind of messages do you actually want? Do you want everything? Do you want just the host? Do you want panelist?
Sorry. Get my head out of the way. Oh my goodness. Look at this. All right. So session ID so this you grab from socialstream.ninja.
Yep. And then if you actually go up to the help for that module, very, very top, you'll see the little question mark.
Yep.
And there is so I finally updated the help. It's got all the various connections and what the heck they actually do. So if you scroll down, there is a social stream section.
Wow. Here it is. Yeah.
So it just walks you through where to find all of that stuff and the stuff that you need to enable. And then it'll show up there. You can do your lower thirds. You can do the doc like you saw. You could also run a version that grabs your YouTube comments and then have it all in the same doc.
This makes me think of, Ray, what's the tool that grabs the links and stuff that you use all the time?
Stream Alive.
Yeah, Stream Alive. It reminds me of some of that workflow, being able to grab all the links and things like, wow, okay. So if you're not using a tool like, if you're using a tool like Ecamm, you don't really need this because the chat is built in. But if you're using other tools that don't have chat built in, this is a great option. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you so much, Justin, for bringing us back.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, Lois, can you mute and unmute?
No. Before we get back to my problem, how much does Zoom OSC cost? How expensive is it?
There are two ways to get Zoom OSC. The first way is to pay for it as a standalone app. And there are two versions of OSC. Let me take us over to the Liminal website, just so I'm not speaking out of turn. Zoom OSC, here we go, learn more. So view pricing. So if you purchase it, the Essentials, it's free. The Pro is $19 a month. The problem with Essentials, for me at least, the big problem is that you don't get multi-spotlight. That for me was the deal breaker with Essentials. You also don't get enhanced output for integrations, smart Zoom OSC integrations, names on button keys. Oh, that's huge. Also, I didn't get past multi-spotlight. I didn't see this. You don't get the names on the buttons, which to me is the whole point. Since I use it with a Stream Deck.
So does this replace Zoom?
Well, no, wait a second. So wait, before we get there. So this is one way to get it. This is not the way anyone should get it. Okay. The way you all should get it is by getting a Zoom Sessions license, the cheapest Zoom Sessions license. It's a pay per attendee license. For 50 people, it costs $100 a year. And then you get all of the Liminal apps included for free. You get tiles, you get OSC, you get ISO, you get everything. So the way everyone should do this is to just get the Zoom Sessions license, the pay per attendee Zoom Sessions license.
So does the Zoom sessions license replace my basic Zoom account?
No, you have to have a Zoom account in order to use a Zoom sessions license, and you have to have a Zoom account to use Zoom OSC. It does not replace.
And can you use it if you have a free Zoom account?
No, it has to be a paid account, Lois.
Paid account. Okay. Well, I'm just,
But any paid account is
finding out all these
No,
details.
good.
Is really important.
But you don't.
Good question.
But if you have a paid account, you don't need to come in on a separate Zoom app. You could just join a meeting from Zoom OSC. It has a camera. It has, it has it. I mean, it doesn't look exactly like the Zoom that we have. There are a couple things that are still missing, but for all intents and purposes, it's just a different Zoom app on your computer.
Okay, I thought it was clear, and you've confused me again, David.
I'm sorry.
So if
let me-
I have a paid Zoom account and I go and I buy this Zoom sessions license and I get all the liminal stuff, including OSC, then when I go to come into a meeting, do I still use my Zoom workplace or do I use Zoom OSC?
Well, either. I mean,
You can use either.
Yeah, you could use either. So this is what the app looks like for Zoom OSC, and like I said, it's different. It's not workplace. That we have. It's very basic, but you can start a meeting. You can use your PMI. You can join a meeting. Join with link. If you have Zoom events, this will link you to those. And then once you are in the meeting, there are two other windows that you might see. One is your settings window, which is here, which if you don't have a Stream Deck and Companion, this is where you can sort of control things. So you can see that right now, hold on. Oh, it's not turning on. That's okay. You can see right now that I am spotlit. If I uncheck that, it now unspotlit me. If I check it again, it will spotlight me again. So this is where you can also control the actions if you don't want to use Companion and a Stream Deck. And then the final window is the actual meeting window, which is right here, which looks just like a regular Zoom window. So yes, you could just join any meeting through Zoom OSC. You won't have all the bells and whistles of Workplace, but it's a fully functional Zoom app.
And I can I join the same meeting once with plain Zoom and once with Zoom as OSC, or am I restricted by my account?
Nope, you absolutely can. You can join the same Zoom meeting from even the same Zoom account from multiple Zoom apps.
Okay.
As I understand it. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Thank you for clarifying all of that.
Sorry, I made it messier before I made it better.
Words are so difficult sometimes.
Yes.
So now you know how long it takes for Lois's computer to reboot itself, because I go on and then I'm back. So I'm going to go look at YouTube and I'm going to measure that. And I'm going, okay, that's 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it was.
Can we find out though what happened? What's going on with your buttons?
They don't work.
Okay.
Nothing has changed from restarting the machine. And I went through and I unchecked and rechecked the settings, and that hasn't fixed it either. So I'm at a loss.
When Zoom is the active app, do they work?
No, they do not work at any time.
If you change them to something else,
that was my
do they
next
work?
thing. Okay, so that one isn't in use. Let's change that.
Yeah, John's suggestion was not to use an F button. By the way, I have no idea how to use the F buttons on my computer.
But they're blank. That's the best thing to do. Now, what have I done here?
I don't even know how to use them.
And someone mentioned that there might be a setting where you can turn the F keys off. And if somehow you've accidentally done that.
Yeah, well, Frank just put it in the chat here. Open system settings, click keyboard in the sidebar.
No, wait a minute. Are you talking about Zoom settings?
No, you.
Settings.
Open system settings. Wait, I'm going to do this right along with you because I don't know if I've ever.
System settings, okay.
And then click keyboard in the left-hand side. Thank you, Frank, as always, for finding this.
Keyboard. All right.
Yep. And then he says click keyboard shortcuts.
Keyboard shortcuts. I don't, oh, there we go.
Click function
No,
key.
wait. I don't have keyboard shortcuts yet. Okay, there it is. Got it. Okay, now I'm here.
Then you click function keys in the left-hand side. Look at that.
Function keys. Okay.
Oh, and so then at the top, is that on or off?
It's off.
Should it be on or off?
Frank.
Help.
I would think
And
if
in
you want
his-
to use your function keys, you would want them on.
Okay.
I will
That was
turn
just
it
a
on.
snarky answer
Yeah.
right there. That's
And-
what that was.
Done. And
Well,
let's,
if you want to use your function.
okay. All right, I'm going to get out of system settings and go
I
back.
had no idea that was there. Let's see.
I can't figure out how to set my shortcut in Zoom. I took one away, but pressing the function key doesn't turn it back on. And the other function keys are not, oh, maybe they are working.
So
Ah, okay, one of them worked. Let me try another one. Nope. Yep. Boy, a couple of them are working. Now, all I have to do is figure out how to,
So if you click on the button under shortcut, if you click on the actual, whatever you have in there, there's a little pop-up that says click to edit shortcut.
are you in the Zoom settings
Zoom.
now?
Yep, in Zoom.
Okay, I'm in Zoom.
So if you go to your settings and keyboard shortcuts, then the mute, unmute, and right next to it is this guy. And then you hover over it, it says click to edit. If you click on that, you should be able to,
And then I should be able to push the F button. It doesn't work. And if I type in F14,
well, no,
it doesn't work.
F, I think will, if you just type in F, it's gonna want you to press the F key, not
Yeah.
the function key.
So how do I put a function key in there? I did it in the
Great question. Someone, how do we put a function key in there for a hotkey for Zoom?
for Zoom. No answers.
No answers. And while we're waiting
Well,
for
you
someone-
said you had you don't have a paid plan, correct?
Oh, I do have a paid plan. I just don't have
Okay,
an extra plan.
got it. Because I would say that maybe maybe the free plan will not let you do things like that. But
that's
It
that's
did
actually
once.
interesting. Is that true? Can you not?
I'm speculating. I'm only speculating.
I actually don't think that's the case. That's a setting in the actual app itself, and normally those sorts of things are controlled on the back end. So I believe that it'll work on a regular one.
I wonder if there is a setting on the back end that may. I'm going to pull up settings right now to see. So hotkeys. See if there is something.
Can I throw in another comment about function keys, which is, I think, a bigger problem than using other keys. Many keyboards, such as the one I have from Logitech, have special functions built in to control the screen, the keyboard, and they are tied to the function keys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can find it almost impossible to use those function keys for certain functions key combinations because the keyboard is basically just taking them over for me.
So on my keyboard, I have an expanded keyboard with a little number pad on the side. And across the top, many of the function keys do have some other symbol, meaning increase or decrease the size, the volume, or the brightness. But the ones that are blank are not tied to this, and so can be reassigned. So that's what I've done.
Excellent.
So there's no setting to toggle keyboard shortcuts on or off that I can find, at least. Wait, I just realized I should look in one other place in the admin. Let's look keyboard. No. Nope. The only thing it says about keyboard shortcuts is about adding emojis.
Yeah. Don't need an emoji.
No.
There's no emotion involved.
All right. Well, at least.
So the weird thing is that switching cameras, that keystroke works. Turning the video on and off, that keystroke works. But none of the others do. Opening and closing chat, opening and closing participants panel, turning on and off my my microphone, and what is that?
And just to again clarify, you have enabled global shortcut set.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for the discussion, and sorry we didn't fix it.
Yeah. Well, we kind of fixed it a little bit.
No, we didn't. I hadn't tried those other two. I hadn't tried changing cameras, so I didn't.
No, but now it works. So like,
but it didn't.
The win, Lois.
Probably works all the time. Okay, I'm going to turn off my microphone now manually, and I will. I'll talk to you later.
Check your FN key, which is like a shift button for function keys. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. You should have an FN key somewhere. I actually don't on my
That may be on Windows. I don't think I have an FN key. I've never seen one.
On a Mac, it's the same button as the globe in the bottom, I think the bottom left-hand most side. On a small keyboard, on a big keyboard, it should be under your F13 key, I think. Right next to the home button.
Ah, you are right. There is an FN button, but what the heck's that supposed to do?
I don't know, but try pressing that try holding that down while you.
The FN button is like a shift. So on your function keys where, say, for example, I'm just going to pick something. Maybe F5 has a symbol to increase or decrease the brightness of your screen. Okay, if you FN F5, that does the other function of F5. And just like caps lock can be on or off, FN could also be by default on or off. It's a pain in the keister, and you kind of have to figure which one is it? Is it on? Is it off? And which one do I want it to be, on or off? And that takes some playing around.
The pain in the keyboard.
And the FN key only affects the
function
keys
buttons.
that row across the top.
Right.
F1 through, in your case, 16.
And now
19,
press your mute button.
Pardon?
So once you press that, now press your mute button.
Nothing.
I don't think you're pressing it hard enough.
If I press that FN.
John says,
so David, what you're saying is you need to take a hammer to the keyboard right now, right?
Pretty much. At this point,
maybe I need to swap out keyboards and find out if there's something wrong with the keyboard.
Right. I would just buy a new keyboard at this point.
Oh, no. I've got plenty of keyboards. But I like this. It's big.
Hey, that's the same. That's what I use. I love that keyboard.
Yeah.
Tony Mobley, how are you, sir? What's up?
I'm fine. I was just curious. Did you mean $99 a month for the Zoom sessions?
No, it's $100 for the year. Here,
okay, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, they don't make it easy to find.
Per seat.
Right.
PPA.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's paper.
It's called
PPA 50. PPA 50 is the
take a look over here.
Cheapest one.
Right. So here we are on Zoom sessions. It defaults to monthly subscription. If you change that to pay per attendee, 50 attendees, $100 for the year. Buy now. Make sense?
And David, can I jump in here and just explain briefly the mechanism of why 1 year? You're buying 50 seats so that should you want to use the Zoom events license and have people come into Zoom events, which is basically webinars on steroids, in my view, you can have up to 50 people come into those things. And once you've used up those 50 seats, your PPA won't allow any more people into it. But assuming you don't really want to use Zoom sessions and you don't use up those 50 seats, the 50 seats, the day you buy them, have an expiration date of 1 year later. So what we believe, and I don't know that anyone's hit that 1 year point yet, is that if you don't buy another one at that point for $100, that your ability to use the Zoom liminal apps will disappear. I don't know that we know that that's actually going to happen, but we'll see.
100% that's true.
Okay.
If you actually don't log into your account and try to launch the app, it won't actually even license it. So it does a license check to see if you have an active license. So if you don't have an active license, you'll revert back to the free versions of whatever they offer. Yeah,
Cool.
Unfortunately, I've made that mistake once and went, why is nothing working? And then realized, oh, I didn't actually log into the hub.
But the other question that I have, and that I've never actually experienced because I've got a PPA account, is I've never actually let the PPA seats expire and not have any. And I assume Zoom's smart enough to figure out that, Ray can't be doing anything with PPA anymore until he buys some more seats. There's some discussion that once you have a PPA account and you've got PPA hubs, those hubs would actually live longer than any required seats you would have to actually get people into sessions. So you could have the video on demand, you could have the other things, I think. I just haven't experienced it yet enough to know.
So time to let your licenses expire and be the guinea pig is what I just heard.
I do have a PPA sessions license that I bought and have used for a client or two, and I've got a couple on there, but they're not going to expire for another 8 months. So maybe we'll find out then.
Okay, I'll try and have a look at that because I have one that's just expired this week, a 250 seat license. So I'll give that a log off and give that a go.
Real quick,
and report about it next week.
Wait, I'm not sure I fully understand. So when you say you have to log on, to log on to what for it to stay active?
You log on to the account that has the PPA license so that Zoom can check your license at that point.
What do you mean log on? Like to the app, to the client?
To the web portal.
To the web portal, okay. So you have to do that once every however often?
I think the cookie probably has to be, there that says, yeah, he's been there frequently or recently enough that he's still valid.
Zoom OSC will check if you have a valid account by asking Zoom US. So if you're not logged in, then it won't consider you having a valid account.
So that's interesting because like right now, for example, on this computer, which is where I have OSC running, I'm not logged in with my OSC account. I'm logged in with my personal account.
But you had OSC running, which means that OSC, when you turn it on, can go and check on things, right?
Right. And here's my experience with, I always try and make sure that on this computer I am logged into my OSC account. But the reason it's so stupid, because what I found is that if I'm not logged in to the web portal on my OSC account, then my Zoom icon, my profile pic for Zoom doesn't come up in the meeting. It comes up as just, blank with the name of the account on it. And I like things to be pretty, and I want like you can see in this account right now, there's TTG Productions and there's my little symbol there. Most of the time, if I'm not logged into the right account, that won't populate. Other than that, as long as I am logged into OSC in the app, it doesn't matter what I'm logged into on the web. Like I can log into the OSC, the app, and then change my account on the web, and it doesn't matter.
I hear what you're saying, David. Another possibility, and I don't know, I'd have to go test this somehow, is that if you've logged into events.zoom.us and still have that active login, and it might have been something separate. You know, the whole thing with the Zoom login, if I log into the community or if I log into the support page or log into the web portal or I log into events, every now and then one of them will go, oh, wait, you have to log back in. But wait, I was just over here using it. But because I went from zoom.us to community.zoom.us, it needs me to log back in again. Why can't you just leave me logged in? It might be that there's a separate subdomain that is still logged in. I don't know. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm not certain that the cookie that you would set when you log into one of the portals is always seen by all the other portals.
We know
I'm
that.
not sure it's a generic cookie, so one doesn't know the other one's logged in.
Didn't we see that with the support site last week or something? Or we just couldn't. Yeah.
And Zoom, by the way, admitted sort of privately that there was still an issue, and now it works. I was testing it yesterday, and it worked fine. So for a pro account.
Good to know. So let's just show folks what that was about, because it's actually really important, right? To be able to get into who's he what's it. So wait, I gotta get rid of my head again. So down here, you can't see it. Well, that's not right. So in the bottom right, sorry, it's just off screen, there's a blue chat button. If I click that, you'll see it opens up and bump it on. And then chat with sales agent.
That's a sales agent.
Oh, did I do the one? Oh God, wait, go away. End chat. Oh gosh, sorry about that. I don't want a sales agent. Now I'm just messing everything up.
Start a new chat at the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but now I can't find any. Hold on, everything has disappeared. Give me a second here.
Well, we can see it.
I know. I'm trying to bring it over so that you can see better. Okay. Start a new chat. There we go. And Zoom support. All right. And now ask a
ask them about the function keys.
Ask a question.
Well, no, see, I think that's going to send me right to the
they're supposed to have fixed it.
Live
testing.
I usually type live support.
Yeah, live
takes
support.
me
All right, let's try that. There we go. Chat with agent. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, lots of nice beeping. That's very beautiful. Which team would you like to contact? Support. Chat with a support agent.
So it did not tell you had to log in.
Not yet, but hold on.
It may ask you for your
his icon in the upper right corner.
May ask you for your Zoom ID though.
This is entirely different now. Look at this. Please get continued below to begin connecting to an agent. Let's see if it asks me for anything.
They've reworked it.
Yeah, completely. I'm number 17. Could take 20 minutes. It's not even asking.
David, earlier, back up on top that you zipped right past, it said, I have checked you out or something like that. Okay, come down a little bit, First, I need to check your account to connect to the, okay, I did it.
Well, it doesn't say it did it.
Well, now it's allowing you to move on.
Okay, that's interesting. You're right. I didn't see that. Thank you. First, I need to check your account to connect you with the right support channel. And then, so maybe it sees that I'm logged in, and then it just says select chat with an agent below to get.
They specifically asked that question.
They need to check your account to find out if you can talk to anybody live. And then after they determine that you can, which one do I need to put you in touch with?
Right.
If you're on paying more than $10 a month.
So you got past the login place that we were stuck on last week.
Correct. It doesn't even bring it up. I do wish, and then Frank, I'll come right over to you. This seems a little, and Frank, you brought this up last week that if support can solve your problem without talking to a live person, that's always going to be their first choice financially. But this piece here seems. I kind of wish, I see you want to reach our support team. You're okay. So now press the button again. Like I already pressed the button.
You said live agent up above, and it went and checked it, and it said, okay, you can do that, and click on the button.
I know. I'm just saying it didn't need to say click on the button.
Yeah, it did.
It could have just connected me. But go ahead, Frank.
Oh, I was gonna comment. I've never had to wait 17 people. I'm wondering if now that they've lowered it to $10 a month, it's being used a lot more and wait times have
Oh,
been
really?
longer.
I think maybe they put you in a different queue depending on your level of account.
Yeah, that's true too. There's premium support and different
That's
levels of
interesting.
support too.
Right. If you're on an enterprise, perhaps they get to you quicker, which makes perfect sense.
You're waiting in a different line.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like at the airport.
I was told, and I don't think it's a problem sharing this, that they do in their process want to ask you what your question is about so they can allocate you to a team member who's going to have a chance at answering the question. Because obviously you could ask anything at that point and they wouldn't know which team member would be able to do it. So they do say that they have a point that they want to get at least an idea of where within Zoom you have an issue so they can try and put you through to somebody who's going to answer it straight away and not, have to pass it on.
Yep. Sorry, Frank, I pushed lower before you were done.
That's okay. I agree with what was just said, and also a lot of times you get tier 1 support and they're going off a computer script. You can escalate if you feel that the person's not really getting your issue.
Say they're going off a script. Does that mean that they're not really support people in that they
have knowledge bases, internal knowledge bases, and there's a logic and a flow chart.
Okay.
So like tier 1 is probably the least experienced staff they have. And then as you escalate, eventually you get to an engineer who's a product expert.
David, this is very popular in the telco world as well. So if you ever call in and you're having a problem with your television or your internet connection, they'll always send you to your level 1. But if you're half decently technically savvy, you should automatically say, can I go to level 2 support, please, right away.
You know what's interesting? So I use an app for our school here, and I've gotten sort of tight with the support team over there because I'm constantly finding bugs or making feature requests or whatever. And so I now know what's going to get me, what I have to give them that's going to get me past, if I can give them a video or a screenshot, if I can help them reproduce it, that's the key. If they can reproduce the problem, they push me right to engineering, which is fantastic. So,
and hopefully their tier 1 folks are trained that if the answer isn't in one of their regular databases, they say, oh, well, let me get you to somebody else and transfer you.
And by the way, Lois, my gut tells me that their databases we have access to that. Like the data that they have. So basically what's happening, my wife does this to me all the time. She asks me how to do something. I have no idea how to do it. I'm just going to go search Google for her. What I want to say to her is, honey, just go search Google. I'm just doing the work that you could do. And that's why Zoom and every other company wants us to use knowledge bases, the Zoom community, because that first tier probably has the same information that we do. We're just all too lazy to actually go looking for it.
Well, that frustration is when you have gone looking for it. Like I was on with the IRS for 2 days, and
it's about your toaster.
Pardon?
This is about your toaster, right?
I'm the treasurer for the meeting, and we have to send out forms that are due the end of January. Okay, so but I read everything. I had all the schedules, the instruction, everything. Oh, and so when I got on the phone and I started saying, this is my problem and this is what I've done, I got a minute and a half into it, and they said, oh, let me transfer you to this other number, and I do that for that. And let me transfer you. Well, and the 5th person said, oh yeah, and worked on it. And so I wish I could give him a gold star. He was very good.
John, what is this?
This is
very zoomy.
This is the answer to all your problems.
Is this you?
No, this is Zoom. You heard of Zoom?
I mean, a little.
Have you heard that Zoom is now getting into the video production world and wanting you to store all their videos?
This is the Zoom Learning Center.
This is their Zoom Learning Center where they have put lots of their popular questions and videos together.
Welcome. This is a YouTube video, so I'm going to mute it because otherwise.
You can actually watch them on YouTube if you don't like the interface.
You can what?
You can watch these videos on YouTube
they're-
directly if you don't like the interface.
Right.
With ads.
No, the interface here is actually fine. I mean,
You can also earn certificates in here, little Zoom certificates if you complete all the hoops.
yeah. Boy, there's a lot. There's even a video about the Zoom Learning Center.
Yeah, if you want to learn about a product you don't have, this is a good way to jump in and find out about something you're not using yet and learning about it.
So this is something that's going to replace the Zoom test kitchen, right?
This has been around for quite a while and it hasn't replaced us yet.
Are these are not AI generated, are they?
In
Give them that idea.
general, no.
From the left navigation menu.
No, it's a real person.
Huh. Are you sure? I've been buying a lot of synthetic voices lately and it's getting hard to tell.
Really?
Well, the training that you put you through.
Sorry, go ahead.
The training that they put you through to get sort of a certification in the partner program, those are clearly done by AR, VR, some kind of AI thing. And yeah, some of the times while you're listening to them, you just can't really tell. But most of the time, when they're using the same, gesture like every 30 seconds, you just don't know.
What does Intent Manager say? I need to watch this video. Intent Manager?
The Intent Manager, I think, is one of those add-ons to the call center that it kind of uses AI to figure out what the actual intent of someone's call is, so
Right,
they can route it to the right person.
This virtual agent, right?
So it sounds like you have homework, David.
Yeah, apparently. Go ahead, Frank.
Oh, remember in Zoomtopia, they talked about Zoom clips and you'd be able to make a avatar facsimile of yourself that would be able to read your scripts and stuff. I'm waiting to see how lifelike that is, if it's going to be like Synthesia or some of those other tools, or if it's going to be more like the cartoony avatars they've had so far.
Oh, you think we're actually going to get that?
They announced it. Just because they announced it doesn't mean it'll ship. There's still things I'm waiting for from Zoomtopia 2 years ago, but we'll see.
I mean, I still use clips a lot. Basically, whenever I need to do a quick screen recording, I use. I don't even know why. It's not that it's any better than any other tool. It's there.
It's right there.
It's right there, right? But you can't. I'm looking to see if they haven't added anything yet.
Well, Zoomtopia was the roadmap for a year, so it may not be anytime soon.
They do have avatars, though. You could wait a second. I mean, these are not the real ones, but allow facial effects. Wait a second. Hold on, folks. This is gonna be fun. Okay. Now, what camera is it using? I don't know what camera it's using. All right. Well, let's just try. Okay. 2, 1. So what is it?
It's using the camera that has all of the screens on it. You need a camera with just your picture.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a second. Let me stop that. Sorry about that. So let's try. We're gonna do another one, and we're gonna do new clip. And now I'm gonna choose. I want to choose. No, see, I chose me. This is video only. Oh, wait. I think I know what the problem was. Let's do that. Yeah, that's what the issue was. Okay, so I had the wrong camera chosen. So you have to be looking at the camera so that it can imitate you or whatever. Okay. So let's do it this way. And where's the... No, okay. So that's just me at the bottom there, I guess. That's not very exciting.
And there's John who's switching between a human and a fox.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm trying to fox him.
I'm going to change desktops to this one. No, I'll do this. Okay.
Actually, I've got a plug for Zoom here. I've saved lots of money. I don't have to darken my beard anymore because I use the video filters to do it for me.
All right, so now I'm recording this screen, this clip here, and it's interesting in the meeting that I'm in. So I'm sorry, let me clarify. On this computer, where I'm doing the clip, it's not the one that is not the one that I'm in this meeting with. It is the one that the Zoom OSC computer is in with, and I have my camera off for that. Right, so you're not seeing me. All right. Oh, that's Mike. Sorry, Mike's avatar looks like mine. All right, so now I did that, and now I'm going to stop. And
You're
now
down
let's.
in the corner, and we could see you just fine.
I use the video filters to do it for me.
So here's. All right, so now I'm recording this screen, this clip here, and it's interesting in the meeting that I'm in. Okay. So I'm. All right. Sorry, let me clarify. On this computer, that's most definitely not what they promised us.
We saw your lips moving and your eyebrows moving.
No, but that's the same thing that we have with avatars in meetings, right? If you change in this meeting, if you change to an avatar, it also moves and
it moves.
Yeah, there you go.
In my mouth. So, David, where did you find these clips? I don't see that on mine. Is it because I'm only a paid account?
No. So if you're on a pro account,
yeah.
No. Sorry. If you're on a basic account, you get basic clips. If you're on a pro account or higher, you get pro clips. I don't know if that's what they actually call it, but
where do you find it?
Yep. So
go to the more menu, it should be in there.
Yeah, you go into your app here, and then if you don't see it up at the top, click in more, and then you'll see clips.
Not in the meeting, but when I'm out of the meeting.
Correct. This is not for in-meeting use. This is for basically screen recording. Or not just screen recording, sorry. This is for recording outside of a Zoom meeting, whether that's a screen or your camera. Right. So now, because Frank is always reminding me that these little clips that I make eat up my storage. So I'm going to get those out of there.
And David, one more thing for clips. You may have to go into zoom.us and actually turn it on for your account. Even though for me, it showed up there, but it was all grayed out because I had it actually disabled in my settings on Zoom US.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So there's a whole clip section with all the settings on zoom.us. And once I toggle it on the top window, enable it, then the button lit up for me.
Yeah, look at that. So this is in your admin settings. You've got it right here, clips, and you have to turn that on. You can also, do you want people to be able to download your clips? Do you want to upload videos as clips? Allow company members to embed clip, yada, yada, yada. And then if we go into our regular settings here, let's jump over, here's clips. And you also have to enable it here. There you go. What else have we got? We haven't had any, we haven't heard anything about? We haven't heard anything about huddles. I still have it in my thing. I still see it here, huddle management. But and that was, how many Zoomtopias ago? It was like 2 or 3, I think, wasn't it? Heard about huddles? I thought it was
still better than Google Graveyard.
Google Graveyard?
Yeah.
That's true. For me, the piece of this that doesn't, sorry, I just clicked on, I'm just looking at because the interface changed. So you can create a huddle for teams that you work, for your organization, a collaborative workspace, or a common area. That for me, the piece of this that just doesn't help me is, and again, I'm not complaining because I understand it, is that this is just for folks within your org. Like if I could create, what I would love to do is, create a huddle in the Zoom Test Kitchen Zoom account and invite you all to come in so we could, co-work during the day or something. But it's unless they're in your they're in your org, it doesn't work. Go ahead, Frank.
Last time Andy was here, it sort of sounded like something was heading in that direction with you and Andy.
Maybe. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I used to go to the office hours, but then I just stopped.
What about notes? Don't we have notes that go to anybody you invite?
Yes. Well, yes, but the reason why notes I think are different and they can go to anyone is because notes can be attached to meetings. So, and I can invite anyone to a meeting. So that isn't to say they have to be, but I'm just saying that huddles are not, they're not outward facing. They're inward facing for
I
your org.
understand that. And you wanted something outward facing. And I'm thinking, because I know that notes can persist after meetings are done, because I've seen lots of notes from people.
No, but a huddle, right? But a huddle is completely different. It's a person. It's like office hours. Excuse me. It's like after hours, right? It's a person.
Zoom meeting.
Yeah, it's a well, I don't know if you'd call it a meeting, but it's a persistent Zoom space where people can pop in and out. It lives on the side of your desktop. Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Well, okay, just start a meeting and leave it open and let people come in and out.
Right.
I'm sorry. There's so many things I don't know. I think I'm gonna go away now and be quiet.
No, you don't have to go away. I wonder, welcome huddle. Let me see if I can, I don't even know how to get into a huddle. Copy huddle link. This huddle is not accessible. Okay. Hey, Tony.
Hey, David. I just wanted to ask, am I the only one that's using SPX? I'm using it primarily for house of worship settings. I was just curious if anybody else was using it.
Are you using the app that's built into to Zoom?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me just bring that up to show folks what we're talking about, and then
the logo that's showing on the screen is one component of it too.
Yep. So here is I'm sorry. So here is my here's the Zoom meeting that we're in, and if I open up apps down here, oh, look at that. I don't have it. I thought I did. So let's go ahead and open up open up the app store, as it were. We'll search for SPX graphics for Zoom. I'll go ahead and add it. Allow. And so now this is in my app list, and I can now open the app. It's going to sign me in. Zoom is downloading the utilities required to run this mode. I don't even know what that means. Should I click download? I need someone smarter than me to tell me what to do here. I've never seen this before.
I actually don't know. I can share it on my system if you want.
Yeah. I don't want to. I mean, this looks like a familiar Zoom window, but I don't. I'm gonna let you take the lead.
Okay, so I'm gonna share everything. So I'm going to. So over here on this side, can you guys see the settings over here? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just going to bring up. I only use this for house worship. So I'm clicking on the button, and so it shows Tony Mobley, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then the logo that's up there, I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to bring it back. Okay. And then you have what is called headlines. And so I'm going to click on it. You can make it, you can time it, but I have it typically as manual. So I guess I really can't see. I have the grid view. So it's showing. So I'm going to turn off Tony Mobley. I think I'm going to turn off Tony Mobley. I turned off Tony Mobley, and I'm going to turn off the logo. And you are seeing the buttons that I'm pushing, right? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Thank you.
Okay. So this is the headline. So I'm going to click on the headline. And why is it not showing?
By the way, while you're doing that, I was going to say it's a really nice, clean little interface. I kind of wish the text was a little brighter for my old eyes, but
Okay.
it's just simple. It makes a lot of sense.
So this was my sermon title from 2 weeks ago, actually. And you can just change, there's a drop-down menu, and you just put it in and just change, whatever topic you want to have. And I'm going to turn that off.
What's beautiful about this solution is that it doesn't require an eCam, a Mimo, a vMix. It doesn't require any of this. It's built right in. It's
And
just fantastic.
And you tell us again, Tony,
it's
what
only,
it's called?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lois. I'm sorry.
Tell us again what this is called.
It's called SPX. And so this is the full screen, and I just have that on there. I'm gonna turn that off. And you can go down here where it has the call out. And so you can change the colors, everything down here. We'll save it. And we're just going to turn it on. So it's going to say, be right back.
That full page one, I mean, that's, we all have kind of hold screens,
this one?
I mean,
Yeah.
this is essentially a hold screen.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So, then that's it. It's $50 a year, one time. So, I was just curious as to anybody else was using it. I sort of got connected with, I can't think of the creator now, in the early days of office hours, and I wanted to try it out. So I go into the App Store when I want to open it up, just click on SPX, and that's it. And then it gives you all the controls, and like I said, click on. That brings the logo back. And so I'm going to actually switch out the house of worship, and I'm just going to see if I can do it. Conversation with Tony Mobley is totally Mimo Live, and it's very complicated, and it's got a lot of different things going on with it. But I'm using this just for the house of worship. So, and I'm going to stop the screen share now. So unless you guys have some questions.
I can tell you how it works if you like.
Yeah, please do. Let me first just say hello to John. Hey, John Adelson. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Go for it, John.
This is a Zoom app, and it's using the Zoom APIs. And there is an API that allows you to create overlays. And therefore, you can build apps like this. I am guessing from the code that there are quite a few other examples of this type of app. The timer app, which Zoom released themselves, I believe uses the same process. It uses some overlays to put the clock. I'm sure you use the timer overlay. The virtual background, I believe, would work using the same app commands, because all it's doing is grabbing a image and then using it as an underlay, shall we say, rather than an overlay. And I believe you can do the group photo. Does everybody know about the group photo app? That's another good one. I believe that can use the same process as well. So rather than trying to build a full range app, all you do is effectively build these over little HTML type overlays, and you throw them into your app, and then it projects it over your screen. So there's actually a lot of mileage in this particular area, and it's a shame it's not been taken up more.
So here's the group photo app. And you can see from the top here, you can actually choose whatever apps you have running. If I want to take photo, group photo wants to take your photo. So everyone probably just got a pop-up. I'll just say I'm not going to do anything with the photo, I promise. I will delete it as soon as we're done. So
and what it does is when you allow the app, it takes your photo and then it gradually adds them together until they've got a full collection.
Oh, wait a second. I thought it was going to give me a countdown. That's terrible. Wait.
So as soon as you hit the allow button, your picture's taken.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Okay, now I have to, hold on, I got to look now. Hey. Okay, that's better. So now we can see. Oh, that, I wish, wait, does it say that on the allow button as soon as you press this?
I think it does, but
I just didn't read it. Sorry.
It wouldn't matter if I had a 3-second countdown or a 10-second countdown. I'm not going to look any better. But I've been using XPX from the early days, and it's a nice little app. And for people who don't need a lot more than that, just having it on the side as an app. And as the other John said, there's some timers, there's some other things. Stream of Live uses it fairly effectively. And you could do Stream of Live, which will have posters and maps, but you could have it create lower thirds. The nice thing with SPX is that you could switch logos. So when I'm doing stuff with the state parks, I put a state parks logo up. When I'm doing stuff for other projects I'm working on, I put those logos on. So it's a low weight way of doing things.
I have a question. So when I clicked download, it opened my browser. It didn't actually go anywhere. It just opened my browser, and then it automatically downloaded the photo to my computer. Anyone know why it opened a browser?
Yeah, because all these apps are written effectively they're written in a browser which is running in Zoom.
Oh, okay.
And that's why things like Stream Alive can be accessing a lot of different things easily. So when they're using the chat, any chat that can connect to any browser can be used. So they could be gathering feedback from individuals across multiple, Facebook, YouTube, people in a room, just using a web-based chat.
Gotcha.
Which is a really good way of doing it, because obviously the browser is not dependent on the hardware that you're using underneath. So everybody just writes a browser JavaScript type app, does what they want to do, asks and sends whatever it needs to Zoom, and runs there. The other one that's probably good at mentioning, commission payments please to Zoom Test Kitchen. The name tags by Warmly I know is used a lot by corporates, so they can have nice lower third name tags on everybody.
Yeah, those are nice. I've seen that also from Warmly. Does anyone find the, sorry, I just noticed this. I'm changing directions a little bit. I have on my OSC machine, although I imagine it probably came up on my other machine, I have the banner that says the content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. It's also being transcribed for AI Companion. I see that every week. And every week I click, don't show this again. And every week it shows it again. Does anyone know why, anyone know why that is? Why that isn't sticky? It's not remembering.
Doesn't believe you.
I may be right. I'm not pressing it hard enough, like your function.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to check your transcript settings on your Zoom.zos? Because there's quite a few questions there. Maybe one of those is off, which is making it challenge.
Okay. Maybe I have it set to like a higher security something, and so it's gonna. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, we've had some of those things happen on the university because individuals, with the university account, they have changed things. So I have to be careful, like using SPX. I can't use that on my university account because they've have not added that as a third party. They allow people to add.
Well, I just want to say thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for letting me. I was just curious about it.
Presumably, they're not adding things like XPS graphics because people can abuse it and put nasty things up in their lower thirds or their overlays or whatever. And there's no concern about it taking data, is there? About those third-party apps?
Well, that's why they changed the rules. Well, they changed the rules nearly a year ago now. So all apps, I think, will be set up. So when you actually try and install an app, so if you try and install any of the apps, it comes up a bit like Facebook used to, with what. So Zoom has taken it to the nth degree now. So it will tell you all the different things that app is allowed to go and get from Zoom. So you can agree that you're happy with that information being taken. And there's been quite a bit of discussion in the Zoom community, and Frank will be happy about this, about how to write apps and how to limit the amount of information you want to ask of the user. And you want to reduce that as much as possible so there is no privacy issues. I've got an app that I'm writing which will run competitions within Zoom, and I had a great long discussion with the Zoom guys to say, well, look, what's the minimum amount of information I can take from the user that I still know who they are in my meeting? And it turned out to be all I needed was the meeting number and their ID in the meeting, and I didn't need to know who they were or anything else to be able to recognize them when they join the meeting and join the games. And hopefully that other people will work in that direction as well.
Interesting. Lois, can I ask a quick question before I jump over to you? So I just noticed something that's a little annoying. So again, here's the Zoom meeting. Oh, let me get rid of this, sorry. So when I click on apps and I choose live streaming, because I want to have this up so I can see the chat. But then if I go in and I also want to see group photo, it closes the first one.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's only one browser running in Zoom that you can run the app on, so you can only run one at a time, or you can only see one at a time. Doesn't mean they're not there.
That. Right. Oh, how interesting. So I can toggle back and forth here. So that's what it is, because it's running it, and you can't have tabs, as it were, in this browser.
So please take note, Zoom. I am doing my MVP like you asked me as a Zoom developer. Can I get another badge, please? Thank you.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Go ahead, Lois. Thank you for bearing with me.
So I want to ask Tony and the group if at some point, once this has finished loading, as soon as you said SPX, I went in there, I tried to grab it, it's still downloading. Once it's all done, would you join me in a breakout room and teach me how to use it?
I would be more than willing to help you. We can learn together, because I'm still playing with it, because I'm only really using it on Thursday nights and Sunday mornings. So
are you sure it'll work in a breakout room?
No, but hey, this is the test kitchen. We can try.
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I mean, it should. I don't know, actually.
I think it will.
Yeah, it should do, because it's just overlaying his video feed, so it doesn't really matter where he is. It's overlaying his personal video feed.
Is it burning it in?
What?
Sorry, is it burning that overlay in?
No, it's like a pop-up box overlay. That's probably the best way to describe it. So it's overlaying on his video feed, and then wherever his video feed goes. Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, Lois.
Well, it's still downloading, so I don't think we're going to do this today, but maybe next week, if Tony and I are both here, we can test that out.
That feels like it's a awfully long download for SPX graphics. But then again,
it might not be downloading. It might just be stuck because you're in the call.
Yeah.
It just says loading, and it's got the little thing going around. So anyway, I won't worry about it.
It might be just because you're on a call. So once the call ends, it probably will finish. Because there's a thing about the camera being on and off with it actually using it. Like if I just came into the meeting and I turned SPX. Oh, there you go.
It's one of the buttons that works.
Okay.
Okay.
Mike,
You have chat working here, right? Yes, we do. Lois, if you go into the chat, you'll see the link, which gives you a step-by-step to do it. It's on the support page from SPX Graphic Software.
Mike, are you able to unmute for a second? I know you're multi.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's a crazy conversation happening over on YouTube.
Yes. I've been talking about vMix, and they've been, I guess this was brought up last week, was it, when I wasn't here?
But also about the Zoom ISO stuff. Can you just, again, if you're busy, it's cool, but
No, go ahead.
do you want to just fill us in on what's happening over here?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, basically what I was talking about in chat with Ronnie and Robert, that they were talking about Zoom integration, and it was related into Mimo Live. So it looked like Ronnie was actually, I guess Ronnie and Robert might have been having this conversation last week. And it was related to, because it was related to Zoom ISO, and it's related to Mimo Live by the looks of it. And I was just suggesting to Ronnie if he's tried, I asked him if he was using strictly Macs or PCs, and he says he does use majority Macs, but he does have some PCs. So that I was also saying that, if he's running into problems with Mimo Live, did he try maybe vMix to see its Zoom integration? So I was offering that up. And of course, I was suggesting in YouTube chat, which everybody sees on YouTube, but of course the people in our Zoom meeting room don't see. But basically, what I was suggesting, of course, is to stick with workstation type PCs if you are looking at using vMix, just because of the fact of the extra capabilities that usually workstations have built into them, because usually they're made for CAD systems, which is computer assisted design. So if you're designing a lot of different, products and such using CAD, usually those type of machines are very GPU intensive. So using, instead of the NVIDIA GeForce cards, I always suggest using the NVIDIA Quattro cards, because the Quattro cards are the actual workstation brand, and then eventually that capability will come down to the GeForce. That has been the target for many, many years of NVIDIA will launch it up here first, then they'll bring it down to the gamer so that the gamer GeForce level gaming cards could actually use it. But vMix usually suggests using the GeForce because the price point for the GeForce and the Quattro, there is at least $1,000 difference easily between the two different graphics cards. So, but again, if you build your own PC and then you start using multiple GeForce cards, you're not really gaining anything, because at that particular point, multiple GeForce cards officially is a Quattro card, is one Quattro card instead of multiple GeForce cards, because again, they always dumb it down and what is important to vMix quickly and technically is the NVIDIA CUDA cores. And that is what they utilize when they are actually running vMix, and it offloads a lot of the tech of vMix doing its mixing and such off onto the GPU.
Did anyone else glaze over about 10 minutes ago? I have no idea what you just said. That was so above my, go ahead, Lois.
I honestly didn't want to go that far. I could go worse if you want.
And if you
so Mike, I just went onto the YouTube chat and saw that so they should reach out to Oliver, because we don't have that sync problem on our system with our M4. So I'm not sure exactly what their setup is. That's
okay.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because again, I'm not from the Mac world, so I can't answer when it comes to Mimo Live, but I can definitely give my impressions that using
no
vMix,
apologies. If you're a hammer, everything's a nail, and if you're a vMix guy, everything's a PC. What can I say?
Yeah, and John, did you get the hammer joke in YouTube, by the way? Or did you miss that? Or were you watching us on YouTube earlier?
Not earlier, but you nailed it.
Yeah, I nailed it. I nailed it. And Lois needs to nail her keyboard too. And we'll talk about that after.
Lois, go ahead.
If people are wondering where this started on the YouTube discussion, because it wasn't discussed here, look at office hours, because I believe that's where their discussion started.
Okay, there you go. What else do we have? Anything else?
So I don't know if you remember this hack, but if you want to call it a hack, if you're not part of an organization, if you're the only person using your Zoom account, you can create a custom filter for all the users. And if you use that custom filter, it's an easy way to toggle on and off sort of a lower third or a graphic or something. I think you can store 2 custom graphics in your account as a custom filter.
I'm not sure it's just 2. I think.
Oh, is it more? I think at one time it was limited to 2.
Let's see. Yeah, I used to. I remember using that also. That's in settings. Let's
While
see.
you're looking that up, the reason I can't do that is because those custom graphics are available to every user on your account. So unless it was a corporate logo or something, it doesn't make sense to put your name, because the other 20 people on your account don't want your name showing up.
By the way, sorry, I'm just noticing for the first time that this has completely changed. It used to say when you clicked on meeting, you used to got basic and then advanced. That's completely gone now. Oh no, it's not. Wait, I'm so confused. What did I just? Oh, I was sorry. Wait, I don't like. Okay, I was clicking on meeting for AI companion. Okay. So here's in meeting basic and in meeting advanced. So for in meeting, I believe it's under in meeting advanced. Yeah, here it is. So virtual backgrounds, immersive view, focus mode. Where is
custom filters?
Yeah, where did that go?
No, I usually just type it in the search bar at the top because these menus are long.
I know, but I like punishing people and making them. This is really strange though that
And that's what I was just doing for y'all.
Yeah. What do we call them? Custom what? Custom overlays?
Filters.
Filters.
I think they're just called filters.
Oh, maybe.
So maybe.
But they're custom ones if you make your own.
Right. Right.
You know what? I may have them turned off. Let's see. Filters. Filter.
Video filter is what the title.
Yeah. Oh no, I do have the. It's under your admin stuff. So you can have 4 custom filters.
Ooh, they doubled the amount.
Yeah.
It's been for a long time because I've used this.
But for someone like Lois or maybe someone else, 4 might be your I'm not here right now, your name.
Yep.
And 2 other ones. So I mean, it might be enough for someone.
Absolutely. So the way this works is you create these. You can do it in Canva. You can do it. Is that what I did? Wait, is that? Did I do this in Canva? Yeah, I did. Sorry. You can go in Canva. You can create it in Keynote, and then let me get out of this. So then what will happen is they will then live in your Zoom app. So if I bring you all back over here, Zoom Workplace.
And I'll clarify what David just said, Zoom client, not Zoom app.
No, they don't call it a client anymore.
Yeah, they want you to call it an app now.
Oh, do they really? All right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Mike. It's always been client and I got used to that, but I'm trying to be intentional. All right.
So when it becomes what is the Zoom app marketplace then? Is that the Zoom plugin marketplace now?
I don't know.
So these settings are in the meeting, by the way.
Yes. So I'm now in my meeting settings. I go to background and effects. You can create virtual backgrounds with AI Companion. I think we actually saw that
Background,
before.
the other tab, video filters.
So they're tabs, but all the tabs do is bring you farther down on the page. So you can also just scroll down. So here are the video filters. So these are video filters that they give you. And then you can see here are the ones that, that I created. And it's not working. Is it working?
Yeah, we see it.
Oh, sorry. I was looking in the wrong place. Oh, I create. So this is a lower, you know, a framer checker that I put in there. And then I got my little doohickey there.
The Fenwick framer. Come on.
Exactly.
Give him some credit.
No, but this isn't authentic. That's why I didn't call it the Fenwick.
All right.
Not because I just made it. Yeah, so this is another nice, if you can just make these, mock these up in Canva or wherever, make sure you, if from Canva, make sure you export them as a ping with a transparent background. From Keynote, make sure you export them as, what's it called? Some
Alpha channel.
Thank you. Whatever, there's a, yeah. And then you can just load them right up in here. Yeah, it's
transparency, is that the word?
No, it's in a Keynote, you have to export it as a certain type of thingy dingy. Hold on, I'm gonna open it up so I can show you. Let me find this. It's opening. Okay, so now if I want to export, oh, you know what I'm thinking about, I think? Sorry, I was thinking about for a movie. For a movie, you have to export it as, what's it called? Apple ProRes 4444. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. Yes, for an image, you just do it as an image, and then ping, export with transparent backgrounds. Sorry, same process for both. Yeah.
Do you really have to export it as ProRes 4444?
To get, if you want transparency.
Yeah, wow. That's very uncompressed. Must be a big file size.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you get, so I do, I don't really do this anymore, but I used to, I'll just show you guys. One of the ways that I would sort of bring things in is I created a, oh no, this is, sorry. This is not what I was meaning to show you. This is something completely different. Right. To get the transparent background in video, you have to export as ProRes. That's something completely different.
ProRes or 265 or WebM or MOV. And there's some AVI channels that can
I've
support.
never heard anyone call it MOV before. That's so awesome. Is that an English sort of regional thing?
Yeah, it is. Prefer to MOV. Just call it MOV format.
But I don't think MOV has transparent. I don't think it has a transparent background. I don't think you can.
Do you say GIF or GIF?
MOV supports alpha channels.
It does. Okay.
And I've managed to get the answer in before Mike comes in and gives it to us in more detail than I can even imagine.
I'm going to behave. I'm going to be
the
quiet.
format expert.
John, do you call them movies?
Instead of movies.
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 I'm English. We're allowed to pronounce the same thing differently when we feel like it. Remember, we were here first. You guys moved out and made up your own words. If you want to walk on a sidewalk, because you had to remember it's to the side.
And you're coming back from over there to here.
No, they're not. They have no interest in coming back.
John is here.
What do you call a sidewalk?
Pavement.
That's what Romans. That's what it's made of.
Yes, exactly. We're much more practical. And don't get me on scones and scones, please.
Better move on and not get into religious wars. So
I'll just say a quick hello to Andre, by the way, who's been lurking in the background. Quick hello, Andre.
So
and Mike, by the way, I passed host to you.
The little thing in the up there is something that I did like David was doing. And here's a bit of information. If I turn off my camera, that goes away. Okay. But if I just cover up the camera, it stays. You can be more creative. That
Hold on a second. Cover up the, oh.
Cover up
Yep.
the camera.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is the way Toastmasters International allows timers to time competitions. We cover up the camera, but we still can use overlays. It's quite a neat, easy trick as well to do things.
My daughter is taking a class now online, at a university class, and they're watching her, or they're recording, I guess, her screen, and her camera has to be on. And I'm thinking to myself, are they actually like watching all of these kids do their work or take their tests? I don't know how they could possibly do that.
I think it's the threat that they could check if they needed to.
I told her, I said, you need
to do that. I mean, you get 50 on a screen or 40, whatever on a screen, and you just.
No. This is asynchronous. She's not even in a class.
Oh.
She's doing work asynchronously. But I told her, I said, look, here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your camera right here. We're going to buy you 2 screens. We're going to, like, what, do they think we can't get around this?
It depends on the software. What stuff we use, the more screens you add, the more things it records.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some students tape their phone to the screen of their computer.
I forgot I was talking to a university guy. I shouldn't have brought up the way I was trying to help my daughter hack the system.
Yeah.
So another thing that really low-tech way of trying to do some of this stuff, like he just put up his Be Right Back screen. Well, if I have that as a virtual
taking a quick break. Sorry.
I can just put that up as a virtual background, cover up my thing, and you see whatever it is that I want you to see. So there's lots of low-tech solutions for things, even if we aren't very low-tech here. Oh, let me get something else. There we go. Okay, so
which button do you press to oil your seat so you don't squeak every time you move?
I swap out my chair for a different chair. I'm sorry, I didn't do that this morning.
That's okay. As long as it's the chair and not your knees, we're fine.
It would be my chair.
Yeah, well, my mum used to make a funny noise with her knees when she moved after she had her operation. So I should have recorded it. It'd been a good sound effect.
Okay, so what's the next question we've got?
Well, I've got a question for you if you haven't got anything else to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I would like to ask, being the dreaded guy of apps here, I would like to ask, has anyone found any use yet for the beta version of workflows?
You're going to have to define what you mean. I'm not sure what a beta version of workflows is.
Beta,
okay.
In North America, we would say beta.
Oh, beta. And workflows is what?
It's a utility or a way of doing things in Zoom that was released 5 months ago, something like that, that allows you to script different things based on what's happening in. Is it in chats only, or is it other places too? John?
See, Justin has put up a link in our chat to the instructions.
Okay, so you can read into this whatever you like. If you'd asked me this on Tuesday, I would say this is quite an interesting thing. It's almost like Zoom are trying to create a Zapier. If you asked me today, I'd have to say I can't possibly comment.
But I do believe it's intended for Zoom team chat, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, yes, but I
now,
think
maybe it'll expand to other things. But it's basically logic that allows you to take actions when variables are in a chat. So you can say hello to everyone who enters a chat, or you can do other things based on how you script it.
So reading their intro to it, it says automation helps to optimize response times and ensure effective handling of diverse inquiries within team chat. So team chat,
Gosh, that sounds even better.
yeah. So I've never used team chat, so I won't even bother reading.
Okay. Well, I don't believe, even in its current form, that it's limited to team chat. If you go into play with it and you click on create a workflow, the first thing you need is a trigger. In other words, what is going to prompt it to take action? And there is a when meeting starts and meetings ends option, which is the ones that I've tried to look at. But most of them, yes, at the moment are on team chat about when you are mentioned in a group, when somebody starts an emoji, when somebody launches a link. Interesting for developers, there's initiate via a webhook. I haven't seen anyone use that yet. And so if I did a when meeting starts one, for instance, I could choose that. And then I have a decision about what I'm going to do when the meeting starts. And again, the number of things you can do is still quite limited. But like Frank said, I think this has probably a lot more mileage if they could add just a few more things that you could do.
I would be more excited if it happened in a Zoom meeting or a Zoom webinar, which maybe that will come. That would give me a lot more curiosity about using it.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I've tried to start using it so when a meeting starts, I will take an action, send the chat to the people to remind them they should be at the meeting.
I mean, BitFocus Companion and Zoom OSC or Zoom ISO, I can't remember which one, allow you to do some of this stuff in a Zoom meeting now. Triggers, like you said, and then, actions follow triggers. If Zoom can incorporate that in a more layperson-friendly way into the Zoom meeting, I think that would gain a lot of popularity. I mean, even in this chat, in this meeting, David's got things going on like, hey, you're up next, and, get ready, and those sort of messages.
Yeah, I think, David, you have that incorporated within Companion, correct? That it sends that out?
Yes, sir. And yeah, I love it, except I just leave it on all the time. But the truth is, it kind of gets annoying for regular meetings that, that we're all here. You all don't need that reminder. I just forget to turn it off. But for classes that I teach, I love it. I really love it. And that's just a trigger in, I'll just show you real quick. I do have to jump off in a second, but I'll show you real quick. So this is in, oh, and by the way, Justin said much earlier in the chat that if you're using OSC, he highly recommends Companion and a Stream Deck. He's 100% right. I mean, I'm sure that there's great functionality without that. But I mean, I can't imagine using OSC without it. So up over here in Companion, if you go to triggers, so this trigger is called on deck, and it's a condition of on condition becoming true. Let me move this over again. I'm not sure why it's not grabbing the full. I guess I just have it. Well, it doesn't matter.
David, if you can move yourself over a bit too, we could see behind you there.
Myself off. So on condition becoming true, the condition is that whoever is in gallery position 1 has their hand raised. And the reason that's a great condition is because when you raise your hand, you always go to position 1. And there we go. So Jason just got that message. So if someone else were to raise their hand, they won't go to the first position. But as soon as I lower Jason's hand, John jumps into second position because his hand is raised, and he now got that message. So it's just a great little condition. And then I have a whole bunch of different actions here. So number 1, I want to select that person. Number 2, I give it a little wait time. And then I say, please send them a message. You're up next. Be ready to unmute your microphone when prompted. And then, oh, that's actually it for that. Sorry, for that action. But then that is coupled with the actions when I put them up on stage or take them off stage. So, right. So this full stage would have to actually go to because this is just a reference page. It's 9. There we go.
And Robert from YouTube is making the perfect comment. He says, Dave could run a meeting with Zoom, but he could never run a meeting without a Stream Deck.
No, I don't think I could. So here, so right, someone raises their hand. They're already selected for me on my Stream Deck because that was the first action. So I'll go back and I'll show you. He raised his hand. Who is that? John raised his hand. So first of all, thank you, Justin. I can see that his hand is raised. He jumped into position number 1 and he's already selected. So now I don't even have to select him. I can just press a button and take action on him. So the way that I've set up my buttons is this stage full, I call it stage full or stage add. They essentially do the same thing is, sorry, they don't do the same thing, but the actions that I have built in are essentially the same. So first of all, spotlight them, wait a second, not even a second, 100 milliseconds, unmute them if they're not already unmuted, wait another 100 milliseconds, lower their hand automatically, wait another 100 milliseconds, clear the selections. I don't want them selected anymore on my Stream Deck because I want to be able to take action on the next person. Wait for a second, and now I don't need this anymore because Zoom OSC now has this built in, but I had to set gallery view just to make sure that it goes back to gallery view. And just so you all know, that's actually kind of important. There is a new setting in, Justin, do you know where it is? Or maybe it's in Zoom OSC, where the force gallery view is. Yeah, it's over here. In OSC down at the bottom here, stop client from leaving gallery. And that's important because in order to use place in the, sorry, I'm having trouble with words. In order for OSC to work according to gallery position, it has to be in gallery view. So that's why that's there. Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Okay, I'm gonna expose how old I am now. This sort of logic thing isn't anything new. I mean, I remember being in IRC chat rooms in the 90s, and there was, logic that could be applied. People pretty quickly figured out how to put logic for messages and different things, and it's, probably been in Slack and all the other kind of popular tools. So maybe that's why Zoom decided to do it in team chat first, but I'm just wondering if any of this will ripple into meetings at some point down the road.
Yeah. Well, it is in portions of it, pieces of it are in the API, because as I said at the very beginning, I now have a button on my Stream Deck that allows me to, and again, I can't show it now because I'm not in it, but if I pull up my Stream Deck actions, so this button right down here, this is an eCam button just on my native Stream Deck. This is not OSC that allows me to spotlight myself or unspotlight myself. So eCam took that right out of the API, and now it only works on me, on the host, not the host, excuse me, on the person who's running eCam for Zoom, but it's maybe the beginning of having it built into native Zoom. I don't know.
I just want with Frank, I was doing that with AOL online, so this is not new.
Yeah,
but I think it's fun that they're putting it in. The problem is that the tool doesn't provide the environment where you want to use it or the practical uses for it in meetings. We did have a project that we're doing that was having. It was attempting to arrive at consensus over a number of things, and we were using it for voting, and so it wasn't yes, no, but it was A, B, or C, and then you could switch your votes, and it let us with keystrokes decide what we were going to do to show next. But it took a lot of time to figure out the logic. The fact that it did it wasn't hard, but how to figure out how to use it in the meeting took a fair amount of plotting and planning.
Friends, I'm passing this over to Mike, who may or may not be able to stick around. I do have to go, though, but I'm really thankful to all of you for being here. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Yeah, no, I'll take over from here. I've been, of course, as everybody knows, my day job is very important to me, obviously. So I'm watching what's going on right now south of us, and I'm keeping tabs of that as well. So, but I'm here now to take over for David. So if anybody does have any other questions that came up this week or anything specific more towards Zoom OSC or Zoom ISO, definitely let us know in YouTube chat, as well as let us know in the if any of our panelists have any questions regarding that. But I do have a question that actually happened to myself this week that I thought was interesting that I wanted to share with everybody and let them know that I ran into this, and I don't know if that was something I did or something I haven't done. Let me put it that way as well, which is that I had a meeting this week. And again, what my normal procedure would be to do is to start the actual meeting, of course. And I'm usually in the waiting for that person or people to join. So what I did usually, and I usually by default have recording turned on. So I'm recording the meeting. And I usually just go to the music app, and I actually have the music app playing, and we'll actually be playing music until that person arrives. But I would like to mute my mic, and after a few seconds, I get Zoom complaining that the recording will no longer have audio recorded because of the fact that my mic is muted. But yet I'm playing music from the music app within the meeting at that particular point. So I had to unmute and stay quiet, even though I'm running the music app in the room. And then it was happy that it could still record the meeting and audio. Has anybody run into that or done similar to what I've done? And of course, anybody on YouTube as well, definitely pipe in as well. Was I doing something weird? I didn't think so. So that would be my first question. Is there a better way to do what I was trying to do? And a quietness comes over the room. Did I stump everybody?
I was reading a work email, so I don't know all the parts. Sorry.
Oh, Frank's as bad as me today. All right, I agree with that. So music app.
The Zoom music app?
Zoom music app.
Okay, yeah.
The Zoom music app in the regular Zoom meeting scheduled, was waiting for that person in this case to arrive. And I, again, because I have it automatically record when I go into the meeting.
To the cloud or locally?
Locally.
Okay.
And it automatically, when I connect, it's muted. But after so many seconds, even though I already activated the music app to play some music in the background.
Don't use pronouns. What's muted? Your microphone, the music?
Sorry. Yes, my microphone was muted.
Okay.
It did not still want to record the audio portion at the end of the meeting. So what I had to do was unmute myself and stay quiet, even though I was playing the music Zoom app in the meeting. And
I have a super low tech solution to that, but my microphone has an inline mute button. So Zoom still thinks it's unmuted, but I'm electronically killing the signal at my microphone source. Do you have a mixer or something that maybe you could mute the source there, but leave the Zoom microphone going?
I do. I do. I was hoping that I didn't have to resort to.
Well, you could, you could do a 1 minute recording and figure this out pretty quickly. Like just do a 1 minute thing and see if that fixes it or not.
Yeah, I know that audio not coming in. I know that I figured out it's related to the Zoom, I guess, app now, workplace app, I guess is we're calling it now. So I know it's related because of the fact that it's complaining that I'm on mute and I'm host. So that's why it's complaining. But I thought that at least because of the fact that there was music, the Zoom music app in the background making sound, which is music, that was enough that it would still. I've had it before where it complains if there's nothing in the room prior to the meeting, that it'll complain about that, but it still complained after that, even though I was doing the Zoom music app in the meeting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any logic, Zoom logic that prevents you from doing what you want, but like I said, a workaround would be to mute your microphone source at the mixer and leave the Zoom mute button alone and see if that makes any difference for you.
Right. Go ahead, John.
Whenever I run my medical meetings, I always open it half an hour early because I know they like to text chat in the background. So I will play some music and then I will mute my microphone. And I've not seen any issues. But I don't always do it via shared screen sound. Sometimes I put it through the microphone, but I've not noticed any issue with putting on some music and then wandering off half an hour. I don't know. I'm not aware of any logic for that. I checked the Zoom community and I can't see any great number of comments about that either. The only complaint people seem to have about the volume level is that they get annoyed when you lower your volume level so low. You mute your sound and they don't like that. But I'm hoping that it was just a one-off.
What are your recordings for? And are they being live streamed?
Mine?
Yeah, you. Mike.
Yeah. Okay. For me, no, I'm just recording it for purposes should I need to go into the meeting and not entirely trust the Zoom. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
choice. Yeah.
You could, you have a mixer. You could always bring in your own music.
Yeah, I know.
The Zoom music Zoom music's copyright cleared for Zoom meetings, so that's the nice thing about the Zoom music is there's not going to be a copyright violation, right?
Right. Go ahead, Justin.
So looking at the music app docs, all it's really actually doing for you is sharing your computer audio. So you could test this outside the music app, log in with a second device, share on your main device, just click the share button, share some audio, play something, see if it comes through while your microphone's muted, and then do the same thing trying to use the music app. I would assume if it works without the music app, the music app should work according to the docs since it's just sharing your whole computer's audio.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. So instead of using the actual app, share like an audio file that's off of my PC to see if and mute myself, if it's now taking the share, now that it knows the share is coming from me. You think that the app is coming from me too, but sure. No, I get it. It should be just a share.
The other thing to test is with that second device to see, is it a false positive? Like on the second device, do you hear the music, but Zoom's telling you like you're muted, so nothing will be there? Because I do get that sometimes. I was like, if you mute your actual microphone, but you're doing something through the share, sometimes it will give you a warning. Like if you make any noise or anything and your mic picks it up, even though you're muted, Zoom gives you a little warning to say, hey, your mic's muted. It won't record anything. So maybe it was actually playing and just giving you that false positive because you made some noise that the mic picked up while you were muted.
If I was sharing sound, let's say it was a video or a slideshow or something, and it has sound in it, I would want to mute myself so that I'm not making noise while people are watching the movie or the slideshow or listening to the bird calls or whatever it is.
Exactly. In my situation, again, there was a last minute person wanted to talk to me, knew that I was in the meeting, but the person didn't join yet. So that's why I muted myself. That person was talking to me and all of a sudden I saw the pop-up on my screen going, oh, if you don't unmute yourself, the audio is not going to record. I'm going, all right.
But did the warning message say the audio is not going to record from your microphone or it's not going to record from the music? Because
no. It said it will not record the audio for the meeting.
No audio. That's odd.
No audio for the meeting at all.
I know it nags you. It's a good prompt. It's not a nag, but I know it bugs you if you're muted and you talk and it senses audio. And, if I do it right now, if I mute myself and I keep talking, it'll say, hey, you're muted. But I've never seen the warning you're saying.
Yeah, no, that one was, it was a variation of I've like in the other scenarios that I've had. Yes, I wasn't using the music app, and yes, it just complained that, if you want the audio, if you want the recording to even, I think it was different. I think it was even related to that it wouldn't record at all or
Can
something.
I ask you a favor? If you do any testing and you see that that warning again, screenshot it if you could.
Yeah, it didn't. It was one of those scenarios that I was going into the meeting, so I just unmuted myself and kept going, and it was happy. So, but yeah, no, definitely, I'm gonna test that out a little more.
You could test it out here if you wanted. Their docs say you can use the music from the music app and a recording for a meeting, and the recording can be shared on the web, social media, and email. So I read into that it's royalty-free music if I can post the recording with the music.
Do it. Zoom Test Kitchen, do it.
What am I breaking? Oh, hold on.
Do your experiment now.
All right. Give me, 1 second. So
the other little question we haven't asked is, do you have separate audio tracks being recorded for your recording? Because I know they had problems when separate audio tracks were running, that some people lost bits in the middle.
Isn't that an interesting question?
I would take a grain of salt with the word lost. At one time, it seemed like that was planned behavior by Zoom, that if other people weren't talking, they were going to save, I think they're trying to save server space, but it became a nightmare for people who were trying to edit these files later, that they weren't contiguous.
Okay.
I just shouted at my screen with the mute on, and I do notice that it took a few seconds for the "you're muted" message to come out, but the "you're muted" to come out message then disappeared of its own volition a few seconds later. It doesn't persist, does it?
I want bonus points for saying contiguous. No one's ever said that in our meeting before.
I'm trying to throw all these English words to educate you guys, with all these.
I was teaching you a word. Come on now.
Right.
I have a plethora of further words I can add later.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. The Toastmaster
plethora.
guy's going to get us.
Plethora. Goodness gracious. Do we call those dollar words? Is that the dollar words that are coming out now?
Pound.
Oh, that's right. Pound. Right. All right. So officially now, so through the music app. So Justin, your suggestion was for me to make another meeting outside this meeting? No.
No, do it
just
right
play it in
here,
here.
right now.
Right now.
Okay. All right. So I will play. Okay. I've got the music app ready, and I'm going to play some royalty stuff now. And let's see what we go after here. Let's go after that one. And we should. There we go.
We hear it.
All right.
And then Mike, mute yourself. We still hear it, and we might need. And are we recording to the cloud or someplace?
I'm not. I don't know if David.
This is David's meeting, though. We're still live streaming to YouTube, right? That might be a variable. I don't know.
So you could try. You could turn on the recording.
I do like the fade in, fade out, by the way. Zoom, that was a good idea. I like that. When you hit the pause button, that's a good idea.
One thing I'm curious about, I'm not trying to ruin your experiment.
Yep.
Zoom licenses this music from a third-party company. If
Correct.
Zoom ever stops having this business relationship and you have recordings, will we still be covered by copyright? Will we still be indemnified? Or, I don't know how they set up their contract. In the year 2025, I make a Zoom recording with Zoom music that they license from a third party, and in 2027, they no longer have that license with the third party, but my recording still has the music. I'm hoping Zoom's lawyers, protected us for the future.
Yeah, that's a very good one, Frank. And again, of course, as well as I do, there's all kinds of funky copyright laws that come into play with all this type of stuff. I guess we don't officially know that, and I don't know if there's any documentation anywhere when it comes to that on the music app. But of course, they're assuming that they're not going to break ties with these guys at this particular point. I guess would be the assumption at this point.
Nothing lasts forever,
That's so very true. So very true.
Anyways, onward with your test here.
onward with my test. So we're not recording. Does anybody have to keep it? I can give. Do I have? Hold on. Let me see what David's got turned on here. Record to computer. Allow participants to record to computer. Okay. Does anybody want to try recording during my test?
I was approved.
All right.
Of course, when you get approved, doesn't mean you're recording. You then have to go and press the button again, as I learnt to my great disgust once.
Yeah, but I did allow for via the host tools now record to computer, and I think it was set on request to record. I think, but now I'm allowing record to. Okay, so John says yes. All right, and I will choose a song. And I'm muting now.
It's still playing, Mike. So
Can anybody confirm that I'm back now?
yeah, you're back. The music's still going.
Yeah. So, Don?
It just recorded.
And it recorded fine.
Some of your best work, I must say. Some of your
Thank
best
you.
work, that was.
Yeah. See what happens when I'm on mute?
So the conditions of the experiment aren't identical as last time because
No.
you're streaming to YouTube and it isn't your own meeting, but maybe it was a server glitch or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
server glitch shouldn't give you
I
an
will
error
definitely-
message. That seems intentional to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely equivalent to when I was talking over here, as John was mentioning before. You are muted. Unmute. And it gives me that opportunity to unmute. So it was similar type of pop-up, John, like you were seeing, and everybody else on YouTube. It is that pop-up. So it was a pop-up. It wasn't at the top, believe it or not. It was actually dead center. So it was where this pop-up was happening was dead center of the actual window. It wasn't towards the top. So it definitely wanted to get my attention that this was happening.
All right, I have a somewhat related question.
Sure, go ahead, Frank.
I believe in the past, you could record locally and to the cloud at the same time, but there was a order of operations. You had to, I can't remember if you had to start the cloud recording first or the local recording first, but is that still something you can do in Zoom? I haven't tried it for a while.
I don't know. John, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I'm just having a look at the options on the buttons. Sorry, that's why it's slight disappearing because I'm looking around my camera. Because I've requested permission, so you've given me permission to record, and now when I click the record button, I have the option to record to this computer or request host to start recording. So it is a bit more
interesting,
a bit more functionality than it used to be.
Yeah, I do see that in my host tools as well. Request host to start cloud recording is ticked right now as an option. Is that close to what you're talking about, Frank, or no? Is that different than what we're meaning?
I think I'm not sure what you said, but what I was saying was you're the host of a meeting and you want to record locally and to the cloud simultaneously. And I believe that used to be possible, but I also believe you had to do it. I can't remember if you had to start the cloud recording first or but you had to follow the order of operations correctly. And I haven't tried it in a while, and somebody asked me if it was still possible, and I don't know because I haven't tried it in a while.
Okay, I can tell you that in the record section because again, I am host right now because David gave me host.
Yep.
In the record on the bottom bar where you choose record, I do have a record to this computer and record to the cloud.
Okay.
Options. And if I wanted to Alt R or Alt C. Or right now,
depending how busy my week is next week, I'm gonna just try it myself and see what happens. But
but in theory, I should be able to. And again, I don't want to without David's permission.
Yeah, of
record
course.
this cloud, of course, but yes, I do have that option that is selectable currently.
I also wonder, if any of that is license dependent. Obviously, if you have a free account, you can't record to the cloud whatsoever, but
Right, right. And again, we know David, I believe this account that is personal one is on. I believe this is a business account, if I'm not mistaken.
right,
Business license. I don't know if this business license has sessions on it or not, which would make it different. Again, John, right? Or am I wrong in that too?
Sorry, I'm distracted because I'm going to try and do the recording for you now to see what the answer is.
All right.
Okay, so I've just fired up my laptop here on a separate Zoom account, Zoom business account that I have. I have to remember I've got a Zoom business, don't I? So
Okay.
if I click on the record option, I've got the ability to record to this computer, record to the cloud, or enable smart recording with AI Companion. Oh, I haven't tried that yet. Anyhow, I will record to the cloud to start with. It says it's collecting the cloud server. It's now recording. And if I now go to the record options, all I've got is pause and stop recording. So I will stop recording to the cloud and I will try it the other way around. So this time I will record to this computer. And now I've just got the pause and stop recording. So if I do it by hand, I can't do it. Whether I set a meeting up to
auto record to the cloud.
Auto record, yeah, that may give me access to it. But yes, you're right. The options are there, but of course, once I start one recording, I can't then get to the options to start another recording.
Okay. It's I could see some use cases for recording to the cloud because you get all those different layouts, but maybe you want to pin yourself or do something in your local record and anyways, good to know. Or
Yeah. So Frank, basically the scenario that you're asking for was that, so if you, again, because I guess you could actually set up also that automatically records to local, which I've done.
yeah, I'm just is there any way anymore to have simultaneous cloud and local recordings happening on your own machine at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, the way that we've corporately set it up is that we don't use the cloud just because, we don't want to be using up all the storage that we were given.
Yeah, of course.
And we do a lot of recording locally. And
there's just a
we want to do with it something
hypothetical, something to talk about thing. I
Yep,
understand
no.
that different organizations have different needs and limitations.
Mm-hmm. And John, looks like you're deep in thought there, son. So you're definitely trying something over there.
He's a
I'm trying to see if I can fire one up with a recording and then.
He's a developer. They like to know how things work.
Yeah, they're tinkering.
Yeah.
He's tinkering.
Yeah, we do. We like to know why things work because when we see something that's really good, we want to do a better version.
Can I ask you about the space you're in? Is that
Sure.
like a part of your house, or is that like part of your business work area? Like where are you?
Well, I think, Frank, you would describe it as some people work from home.
Right.
And I think considering the amount of technology I have here, I'm probably home from work.
That's great. It's an impressive space.
Otherwise stated,
this would be a lounge in the normal world. This would be a lounge, but actually, apart from a sofa,
if
there's
I
not
lived
really
down
much
this
lounge.
if I lived down the street from you, I'd be if you were gracious enough to allow me in your space, I would be very comfortable in a place like that. I spent many hours surrounded by that sort of thing.
I even have 3 different broadband signals coming into the house.
Well, there you go.
So,
Command
all about
Central.
that redundancy. Redundancy.
Oh yeah,
so important
there's
for
one
production.
advantage. Yeah, there's one advantage of being only 200 feet away from the exchange. You can just get them to run services. So we should only have one provider, but there's a cable provider, Virgin. They happen to be in our street, and then a developer came along and started putting fiber in all the new development of houses. But because I'm directly across the road from the exchange, they were happy to run a fiber across the telegraph poles straight into me. So that gave me 3. connections. So yeah, very redundant redundancy.
And we're very, yes. So quick for our Zoom production people out there. Yes. Redundant internet, definitely a good thing. There was actually, I'm not sure if I was reading, it was actually in a vMix forum that I was reading that someone was actually doing a Zoom event using vMix, and they were actually broadcasting to Vimeo this week, and Vimeo's live streaming was actually down. But they didn't know that until 2 minutes before they started. So they had to go and switch everything to everyone from Vimeo to YouTube as their backup plan. And I had asked him if he actually taken into consideration, because he had backup vMix machines, and he had the backup Vimeo and YouTube as a plan B. But I asked him if he actually had a backup internet connection between these machines from location A to the actual, internet itself. And he said, oops. You can be as redundant as you want to be locally and redundant as you want to be streaming server wise. But if there ain't that internet between the two, it's amazing what doesn't happen. Lots of events don't happen then.
One little hack that I use, which works most of the time. Obviously, we're going to tell you, plug your cable in for your Zoom connection. And that's the right thing to do. But if you get your Wi-Fi to be connected to a different signal, if your cable stops for any reason, and your computer is then going to automatically go and look for the Wi-Fi, because Zoom's good at dropping connections and rejigging connections, most of the time you'll find that Zoom will then hop on the Wi-Fi signal you've got and carry on. And although there might be a judder for a couple of seconds, it's very robust, and it does seem to retain the signal and carry on.
Right. And again, in that caveat that John's talking about, that is based on, your PC or Mac itself being hardwired first or Wi-Fi first, but we always prefer you to be wired first, but wired first. And should that internet connection die, and you happen to be at let's say a hotel event, that you have a public Wi-Fi there, that is also in that room, again, it's best to be wired to the internet connection that they have in the room. But should that die, because that port died for whatever reason, then you could always go publicly to the Wi-Fi within the room, and hopefully that's still got internet connection, and you can able at least then go out. But what I was specifically talking about too was actually having, in the internet world, we call that multi-homed. And in John's situation, John is triple multi-homed in the regards of he's actually using 3 internet connections, which he now has failover times 3. But again, my always suggestion is, again, if anyone is doing any productions at venues, even outside, is to have definitely multiple providers, internet providers, as long as you, of course, bill your client support appropriately. Because if you're going to have redundancy in gear locally and redundancy on streaming servers remotely, Zoom, streaming servers, etc., whatever mechanism people are going to watch your event with, you've got to make sure that pipe in the middle also has redundancy too. And that is 2 best case scenarios, 2 physical best internet connections from 2 different providers, that your internet network gear is actually then paying attention to that. Oh, is this one up? Is this one up? Oh, this one died. Oh, switching over to this one. And now that one's live. Because again, you should always be redundant in your encoders, and you should always be redundant in your, of course, if you're using software switching, you should be redundant that way too. So it's all about, as I was saying, all about the redundancy. Getting back to John having the luck of the draw of being able to have 3 full internet connections at his location.
Yeah, nobody wants to say to the CEO, I'm terribly sorry, sir, but we need to do that again because we lost the connection and we aren't recording it. You
Right.
want
I
to make
mean-
sure that it's recorded somewhere, at least locally. And even if the internet goes down, you don't want the CEO to have to redo his speech or her speech. It's more likely to be her speech nowadays, isn't it? Let's be honest. They're much better bosses. Yeah, you don't want to have that all start again. So
Exactly. And Robert made actually a really good comment when he was asking, he said, I always thought the message is just a warning. And this is getting back to my issue. And he says, I ignore it. However, I do play music from a second computer, not my main computer. Right. So again, I could always do that as well. And that was definitely a suggestion that Frank was mentioning and Justin was mentioning, is to leave my mic open, but for me to feed something into Zoom, into the meeting, but doing it through hardware versus actually trying not to have a huge system, but actually trying to use Zoom's applications to get the job done within Zoom by itself. Yes, I can do it easily outside of that, but I was trying not to. And in theory, Zoom supports all this different technology within their, thus the Zoom Music app and Zoom itself. I just was absolutely surprised that I got that message again. I knew not having nothing in there, it would happen, but I didn't know that even the music app, it's still with my mic, the Zoom mic, it's actually looking physically at that in the actual workplace app. I got to get used to saying workplace app, that I'm muted or unmuted. But I plan on testing that more. Okay, anybody else from YouTube? Definitely let us know in chat. And let me see if my stinger works this week, just for Frank's sake. Oh, it didn't that time. Look at that, Frank. Who knew? And I'm back again. There we go. But yes, if there's any other questions or concerns that you might have this week that you ran into during your Zoom production or Zoom product itself, of course, we have John here as well. And of course, John is developing in the background and such. So if you have any questions that might be above and beyond the regular, software based, or you want to go in back in a little bit into the SDKs or the APIs, let us know in chat, and John can give us a quick little rundown without, hopefully, like I did earlier, go way over everybody's head.
You did not go over my head.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Standing up for those Canucks. Attaboy. Thank you. But I tried my best I didn't think I was too high of level when I was speaking. But again, I could have gone, Frank, I could have gone further.
CPUs and GPUs.
CPUs and GPUs, yes. It's all about the GPU. That's what is starting to become more important now. And especially if we're talking about AI. And of course, we could talk about DeepSeek, the new Chinese AI system. But yeah, that's a whole other AI topic for another day. But yeah. So I'll just wait for our friends on YouTube to see if there's any other further questions.
I've got some general feedback for you if you're interested.
Sure, John, go ahead.
I talked about that system of mine of interviewing people and using the script to put into AI and play around with it. I've been doing a lot of sessions. I think I've done nearly 30. I think by Monday night I will have done 30 of those sessions. And I know I was a bit against AI. I'm sorry about that, but I'm warming to it now. The AI in Companion is certainly freaking me out because I will ask it a question and it will come back with an answer, and I think everything's great, doing well. Then I'll ask it something else. I will ask a question, my interviewee will give an answer, I'll cut and paste that into Companion, I'll ask it to shorten the sentence or make it sound more professional or something like that. And now and again, it will grab a fact that we haven't talked about for the last 10 minutes, but we talked about earlier in the meeting, and it will just pull that little fact out and put it into the answer. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's almost as if it's listening. And of course it is. It's listening to everything that goes into the transcript is available to AI Companion. By the way, you have to start the transcript, otherwise it can't listen. So that might be a good security note for people concerned about privacy. I know Frank wants to make sure everything's tied up properly, and so it should be. So if you don't start the transcript working, AI Companion has less understanding of what's been going on in the meeting because it seems to be the transcript that it deals with. It doesn't listen to your video and give you an answer. It deals from the transcript, but it is quite spooky and frankly, it's impressive. I've had times when I've asked people a question and they've not given me the answer I was looking for. They've gone off on a tangent, they've waffled around in a different subject, and they've not given me what I wanted. And because I didn't want to let them down and tell them, no, that's not what I want, answer it again, I would type the question into AI Companion anyhow, and quite often it would be able to go back into all the stuff they've talked about already and come back with some good answers and a good synopsis of the answer I want based on all the other waffle and chat they've had already. I'm getting more and more excited about AI Companion every time I use it. Over to you, Frank.
So AI Companion in a meeting, in the meeting chat, and during the course of a specific meeting, it only can reference what happens in that meeting, right? It can't reach back to other meetings at this time and extrapolate other information because we have this meeting every week. Imagine if it could reach back through all of our past meetings for an answer to a question instead of just in this specific meeting. It doesn't do that yet, right?
It doesn't do that, right? Correct. It doesn't do that. I think when we first talked about this almost a year ago, I said, would it be a wonderful world if it could do that? I do get the feeling that it could go in that direction. I've got to be careful what I say because, you know, what you hear and what you're told and what you're not told. Zoom don't usually tell me. Yeah, I'm just speculating. Zoom don't give me many secrets. They usually just give a non-answer, which means something's happening, but you don't know what. So the way I understand it, the way I understand it from the way I'm using it is if I don't turn the transcript, and I could be in somebody else's meeting as well. So if I'm in somebody else's meeting, because I'm in your meeting now, I can, if I make sure the transcript's turned on by asking for the transcript for myself, I've effectively started the transcript for the meeting. So I don't know if anyone else has got the transcript running, but I personally have. And because of the settings that are set in this meeting, I can also save that transcript. Again, that's an option you can turn off and on.
The other question I have, I think Zoom announced this at Zoomtopia, is they're going to be doing OCR on slides and visual content that's presented in the meeting. They haven't done that yet, though, have they?
I'm not aware that they've done it. I don't think I've.
I haven't.
No, I've not.
I
I've
haven't
not done
heard an
anything
announcement or anything.
No. Be a good experiment to do, but no, I'm not aware that they've gone to that level now. From my usage of it, I can see AI Companion is got access to the transcript, but I don't think it hears us. I don't think it sees us.
Yeah, I mean, if you're if you're in a meeting and someone's presenting a PowerPoint slide deck with 100 slides and it was OCRing them, then it would also be able to, you'd be able to ask a question. What was on slide 2? Like trying to remember 100 slides is hard, but if you have a faint recollection of something, you might be able to ask Companion, what was that part about GPUs again that Mike said at the beginning of the meeting?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense because when you ask it a question, it will give you the reference. It gives you little numbers, 1s, 2s, and 3s. It gives you a reference back to the transcript, so you can actually see the times in the transcript when that particular thing was taken, which is really useful for if it comes up something you don't expect. It's a good way to verify that it has made the correct assumption from the context because you can see the text. So yes, if it was able to do that and then pull up the place in the video for the pictures, that would be quite good. But it's in the meeting. So one thing I have to do is before we close the meeting, like Frank is looking to go home, before the meeting finishes, I have to make sure that I've got all the information out, because once the meeting closes, if I ask AI Companion, it don't know.
Right.
Although, of course, I've saved the transcript, so I have the ability to take the transcript up and then process that in AI some other way. But AI Companion itself only seems to know what's happening in the meeting from the transcript. If the transcript's not started, it doesn't know. And if the meeting's finished, it can't see the transcript anymore, so it doesn't know either.
One thing I've been doing, not often, but occasionally, is I have recordings of different kinds of meetings or other things. I've been starting up Zoom meetings by myself, playing the video file in the meeting and getting it to give me the meeting summary, which just gives me a summary of whatever that recording was about. And then I use that text for other purposes. So that's been helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a review of the news last week. I turned on to, I was going to have an impromptu meeting with somebody, and then they decided we'd have it later. I forgot I left it on. So I went downstairs, made a cup of tea, came upstairs, stopped the meeting because I didn't need it. And the next thing I got the email from AI Companion giving me a summary of the news and the weather from the TV that it had been listening to while I was downstairs making tea. So yeah. The other thing I want to try with it is maybe foreign movies. If you don't have the translations, maybe you can play it through a Zoom meeting and get it to translate it for you.
In which language, John, would be the question.
Well, it depends.
Would that be British English?
No. Scones. It's got to be the scones version, not the scones version.
Ah, very cool. Very cool. Okay. And
let's all be nice. We're all part of the Commonwealth together, gentlemen.
Yes, we are. Yes. We're even right now between the Commonwealth and the people from the US officially, and then we got Hasbuk from the I'm trying to remember where Hasbuk is from. I can't remember right now. But on
South
that
Africa,
note,
I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So on that note, it looks fairly quiet on YouTube, and nobody has given us any further questions. So I'll wrap it up for this week's show. So here we go. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube know how much you like our content. And don't forget, we're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And check your local listings for the time in your area.
What's it in Greenwich Mean Time?
John, let us know quickly before I sign off.
10:50 GMT UTC.
There you go. Excellent. So see